would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this, go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger. Hey, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Hey, I can never let up even if you had enough. Hey, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat in submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash and the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk about the show, they all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger.
Good early afternoon, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Clap it up for yourselves. Clap it up for yourselves. Yeah, we got a build on this boxing, man. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. Sorry about yesterday, guys. Really got tied up in my day. Really wanted to go up and do a live yesterday by 11:30. So many things was moving into space, but you know, my day got busy. You know, the personal life, family, man. You know how it is, bro. Got to tend to those things first. Priorities are a must in this life, right? So, but here we are, man. 12 o'clock on a Saturday. If you guys haven't noticed, we've been being a little bit more consistent. I'm making big changes to my schedule. It's going to make me a little bit more available to the space. We're going to give more energy to the channel, right? We're going to give more energy to boxing a little bit as much as we can. So, you know, inshallah, we'll be way more active in the space and you know, be able to speak about things as they come up a little bit more often rather than, you know, letting it culminate to a day or two during the week. I mean, either way, right? We're going to build on this boxing. Salute to everybody who is in the building, man. I truly appreciate you guys, man. God is good. God is great, man. Life is great. Health is on point, man. You guys know I'm on this health fitness journey and I'm loving every minute of it, feeling great. We're cutting this weight. And boxing, man, I just feel like it's just right? Because boxing is also, as you guys know, I'm going to keep on pushing it. We're ushering a new era of competitive boxing styles, matchmaking. I think it's a great thing, man. You know, a lot of nerves are being racked over the new changes that are being made with the addition of Dana White, obviously, and Turki Al-Sheikh becoming more influential in the space. You see how he's sort of tearing down the whole pay-per-view model, which in my opinion was being torn down anyway on its own, right? but you know, acknowledging what's really going on in the space and making the corrections and the sacrifices that need to be made in order for more fans to see the sport, to make it more available for more eyes to land on the sport, and you know, inshallah, bring the sport back up to the top of sports entertainment where it used to be at one point in time, years ago, right? Years ago. So, and this looks like this event coming up on September 13th is going to be, you know, you know what I mean, one of the first steps in that direction, ushering in that kind of matchmaking and and the level of event, right? An arena, 60,000 plus people expected to pop up in this show. We'll see how that ends up turning out. We pray everything works out well. Photos circulating right now of Terence Crawford shaking up the space as Terence Crawford, we know the story, going up multiple weight classes, 2-3 weight classes, however you want to look at it at this point, right? Whether you feel like he's coming up from 147 to 168, or you want to look at it from 154 to 168. That's the elephant in the room. That's what everybody's looking at. Outside of that, we would say that skill-wise, pedigree-wise, this is exactly what Terence Crawford is supposed to be. And there's an argument to be made that if Terence Crawford was a 168-pound fighter, that this may be one of the most competitive fights, one of the biggest fights for Canelo Alvarez's career, right? Stylistically, this fight is going to take Canelo Alvarez to be in a cerebral space that I don't believe he's had to be in for years now, right? Some people want to say Canelo's been cherry picking or whatever have you up until this point, however you want to look at it. But, you know, this fight right here, outside of the weight difference, you know, stylistically speaking, a very competitive fight. We have to see how Terence Crawford is going to go ahead and acclimate to the new weight class that he's never fought in before, see the work he's been putting in for the past year, putting on that healthy weight, I want to say, but I don't even want to say putting on healthy weight, because as people are looking at it like Terence Crawford is putting on all this weight and that it may affect him in an adverse way, I'm looking at it more like what Andre Ward said. I'm thinking it's more about him cutting less weight, right? Cutting less weight. And if that's the case, we may see a fresher, stronger. People who thought that Terence Crawford was abnormally strong for 147 pounds or 154, or when people like Jarrell Big Baby Miller talk about how he's manhandling him as they're wrestling and looking at it like something abnormal, maybe the reality is that Terence Crawford is a way bigger person than we've ever really took a moment to admit to or acknowledge, right? So, look, man, we're all in the dark. Shout out to my guy, Angelo Reyes, who says this all the time, and I think it's very relevant. We don't know what we don't know. Right, guys? We don't know what we don't know, man. So that being said, we're all going to be waiting, anticipating to find out the answers to these questions and getting these boxes checked on the 13th, upcoming next Saturday, right? So we got to talk about that. We're also going to talk about announcements that are being made. We have some fights that are being made. Obviously, you guys hear about Subriel Matias being pulled off of this card. Looks like his promoter was able to win the bid. So this fight's actually going to be moved over into Puerto Rico. Subriel Matias will be defending his WBC title in Puerto Rico against Dalton Smith. That's still going to be a great fight. And with this announcement that just in particular got made as far as Lamont, Roach, and Cruz is concerned, although from what I understand, it's not completely finalized, but Lamont Roach last night on ProBox. And by the way, shout out to ProBox. ProBox put on a great event last night, guys. You know, I mean, ProBox has been pretty consistent with the boxing and what they've been delivering, but I think last night was one of those, it was one of those bangers, right? Like there was some really good fights on there. There was some breakouts, and there was some people being humbled, people who we thought would have been moving forward, but maybe need to take a few steps back just to kind of revisit, go back to the drawing board and just revisit some of these spots before we put them up in front of bigger challenges. But overall, ProBox was a great event last night in DC. If you guys didn't catch it, catch the replay on that. But Lamont Roach, they had an opportunity to speak to Lamont Roach, and he spoke to this Cruz fight and seems very confident that this fight may be very close to being penned out in the next fight for him. Up at 140, challenging Pitbull Cruz for his WBC interim title. That's a big move for Lamont Roach, going into another weight class division, potentially getting an interim title when he does this, and we'll see how he can leverage that, right? We know that he's currently holding a 130-pound WBA title right now that, I mean, he's not defending. That's always an option on the table for him, I guess. But, I mean, at some point, that title has to become, we got to, you know, drink from the cup of reality to say that I don't see this man going up from 140 and going back to 130 to defend that title. So I'm expecting that to be vacated soon. That'll open up the division at 130, even more now. Obviously, we know O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Fulton fighting for his WBC title down there. So there's a lot of things just moving around in the space, right? Deontay Wilder also did a great interview with Ariel Helwani, speaks to his future in his career. Seems like he's hitting a second breath, right? A second gear in his career where he's back to being motivated. He talks about personal life issues, people who he's had close to him, who he feels like may have betrayed him. And, he basically had to clean up, cut the grass in his yard to get away from negative energy, we'll say, right? But he seems rejuvenated, and he's looking forward to potentially making a fight with a Francis Ngannou heavyweight fight. This fight stylistically, believe it or not, we'll talk about it today. I think this fight stylistically is a great fight, right? Somebody novice to the boxing space is Francis Ngannou, but brings a pedigree of fighting, right? More than boxing. And Deontay Wilder being criticized for the boxing skills before and just, celebrated for that serious right hand that he brings into the space. Big power puncher versus big power puncher. Look, man, if Deontay is going to prove that he's ready to return back into the space and be a contender and represent American boxing, which needs a heavyweight fighter right now, Deontay could maybe, win over the people with a great victory over Francis Ngannou in old school Deontay Wilder fashion, right? So looking forward to see what ends up developing there. Francis Ngannou seems to be with it. Deontay seems to be with it. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about everything else, all the latest and greatest in boxing. And of course, towards the end of the show, we will open up the panel for the usual suspects. If you guys don't know, this show right here happens to host some of the best panels in the boxing space. When you're talking about scholarship, when you're talking about real fans of the sport, I think our channel can go head up with any of these panels that go out there, man, right? So it is what it is, man. Salute to my brother, Ray Davis, in the building. You already know the show. You already know. Hold on a second, man. You already know, man. He was coming up, right? We got so much to talk about. And I'm going to do a roll call, of course. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Shout out to everybody else who is in the building. I know there's a lot of places you could be, but you're here, so much love. Shout out to all my new subscribers. We've been doing okay with the subscribers, by the way. People have been coming to the channel, and I guess, finding something that resonates with them, so they've been subscribing. Shout out to all you guys. If this is your first time tapping into the content, take a moment, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well, so you're getting alerts when we're dropping content like this, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Let me go ahead, Ray, just do a quick little roll call, and then we can get it going. You know what I mean? Shout out to Literary Pharaoh. Literary Pharaoh, my motivational guy, man. You know what I mean? He knows I'm on this weight loss journey, man. Sees me going to the gym every morning, always has a good word to leave in under my the shorts I've been doing every morning. Let me know, encouraging me to move forward, man. And we're doing it, and we're trying our best to do it the right way, man. We're focused on the diet. We're working out. We're doing the strength and conditioning, man. We're doing all those things, and we're feeling great, man. Shout out to Literary Pharaoh, man. Always showing love, man. Shout out to Alfonso Causey in the building. Says, hey, brother, back at you, man. Salute to you, family. Good Saturday morning. I'm assuming most of the people ain't working today. I'm loving being able to do this show on a Saturday, man, to catch up with the space, man. And hopefully this helps, elevate and put the channel up to the next level. Shout out to the darkest light in the building, a Steeler fan, just like you, Ray. We got another Steeler fan right here in the building. Darkest light. Do you know him, by the way? Is this somebody you invited, or is this happen to just be your mic ain't working? Your mic ain't working.
You hear me now?
There you go. You clear.
Okay. There we
go.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if you know him or something. Sometimes, it could be a coincidence.
Nah, I see my little cousin up in here, though. He started boxing out in Cali. I think he's still in Sacramento.
Okay. Shout out to my guy, Freedom March. Hey, yo, me and Freedom March got into this debate over Devin Haney and Brian Norman. Freedom was trying to cook me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I got cooked. I definitely didn't cook Freedom. Now, I know that I definitely didn't do that, man. I don't know how it's not easy to cook him, but I know I had to get on my game. Like, hey, man, I'm just asking regular questions. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Nah, B.
Maybe I was making statements that day. I don't know. Maybe I was making statements. I don't know. Maybe the statements was that. I don't know. But shout out to Freedom March in the building. Salute, King. Chris Legg in the building said, Bud stopping Canelo and the news. through September 13th. Clay, chat, and the panel. Salute. Hey, man. Timothy Bradley, we're going to talk about that as well. Timothy Bradley calling for the stoppage, says he doesn't want to hear anything. And he says when it's all said and done, don't get it twisted. Put the music up and make sure you get Miss Deborah putting in that dance that she does with her son at the end of that fight. You make sure you catch Miss Deborah doing her thing, man. Timothy Bradley stirring up the boxing space with that video. And I don't think it's that far-fetched, right? We'll talk about that as well, Ray. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I'm not calling for a stoppage, but I think the point of Timothy Bradley's video is more important than the actual result, which is y'all sleeping on this young bull's ability to be strong and ability to hurt Canelo Alvarez. You think he can't do it, and you might be sleeping, right? I think that's what he was more so getting to. We'll talk about that. Pop Shop talk in the building. Salute Pop Shop with the motorcycle in the video. I don't know if you're rolling right now, if you're trucking right now, if you're home, comfortable, wherever you at, Pop Shop. We appreciate you being in the building, and you know, I'm expecting to see you on the panel a little bit later. We'll see what ends up happening, right? Shout out to the Cardenas. He switched back, Ray. He's no longer Benny Blocker. He switched back.
Okay. He must have lost a bet.
He must have lost a bet or something, right? He switched back. Chris Legg says Bud has every advantage over Cinnabon. Besides being at 68 longer and taking the shots at 68, Bud outskills Canelo in every category. I'm not going to say what you're saying is far-fetched from my perspective, Chris Legg. I think that's what it is, man. The elephant in the room is what the elephant is. But if that elephant in the room can be debunked inside of the first 2 to 3 to 4 rounds, we might see a long 12 rounds potentially, or if there's a stoppage for Canelo Alvarez, who is going to have to put on his thinking cap and show us where the IQ is at if that power doesn't hurt Bud or discourage Bud from doing what he does. It could be a great night for the fans of boxing, though, right? If that happens. Great night. Salute to Bruce Gas, boxing in the building, scholar in the building, historian in the building. Legitimately, every time I see this man inside of this chat, I know that this channel is doing something right. Anytime I see Bruce, Echo, anytime I see Shelton Moore, shout out to everybody who I see. But when I see the OGs come into the building and find something here, I know we're moving in the right direction and we're doing the right thing, man. I appreciate seeing you here, man. Thanks for putting a comment in the chat, Bruce Gas, for show. Matthew Hunt Walters says great fights. Got to be talking about Pro Box last night. Pro Box had some good fights last night. Pro Box was good last night. Like, you know, Pro Box is consistent, right? You know what I mean? Like, we like watching Pro Box, but every now and then they kind of outdo themselves. Every now and then it's like, damn. We talk about that because I think it's the DC thing as well, because I think DC just puts out a good product when it comes to
people were cheering.
Yeah, man. They put out a good product, man. But it was great to watch. I stayed up. Even the wifey stayed up for a little bit and caught the fights, man. Scooter Davis had with the body shot. You know how much I love to watch these guys go down on the body shots. He did that early in the first round. I keep telling you, man, it's body snatcher season, man. Body, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Shout out to Virgil Wimberly in the building. Salute, Virgil. Says, what's good, Claymore and chat heads. Salute, Virgil. Man, good to see you in the building, man. Yeah. No doubt, man. Let me see here. Keep going down here. Is that everybody? Let me see. Kai Fly in the building says, salute. Clizzy and Ray D in the building. Salute to you, man. CJ Rich Boxing and BS says, what up, Clay? About to get this road work in. No doubt, man. I figured deal you on that, brother. Man. Let me see here. Literary Farrell with the support to the channel, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the color in the chat. And I thank you guys in advance for everybody else who may put color in the chat. Support the channel, man. I'm dialing in. I've changed a lot in my personal life right now to be more available, to do more content, to do more lives. I'm betting on myself. I'm betting on this channel, and I'm betting on you guys, man, to help support the channel. So anything you can put in to support the channel is appreciated, man. You're going to see a lot more of us in here, man. And Literary Farrell says, for the grind and consistency, salute, man. Thank you, man. Thanks for acknowledging that, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to my Aki Anton Zegler in the building. Assalamu alaikum, Ak. Hope everything is good. It's Saturday, so I know you chilling, relaxing. I'm glad you found a moment to tap in. Hit that button when you seen the notification come up and stepped in the building. Mr. Lightning Boxing in the building. Salute Clay, Ray, and chat. Salute to you, family. Salute. Oh, everything boxing in the building. What? He said, what? Salute, ETB, man. Hope to see you on the panel. Hopefully a little later. I know how it goes. You might not. I know you got stuff to do, but who knows? Who knows? You never know, right? You never know. Right. Definite, another legitimate validation move. Every time I see people like ETB, like Keon in the building, I know that the channel's moving in the right direction, man. Yeah. Salute to you, ETB. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Is anybody else missing? Salute to my brother, the biggest validator, my co-signer, right? My OG in the game, even though we like the same damn age. I think he might be 1 year older than me. Maybe. I know we both on the bad side of 45. And but we youngins with the 50. Are we there yet, Blue? I'm wondering, right? Because are we in a space now to where we the young guys in the room with the OGs? But we the unks and the old dudes in the room with the young dudes. Do we got a couple more years to go before the OGs just respect us as OGs? Are we there yet? No. I like to believe we're young, man. I like to believe we're the young guys in the room with the OG, Blue. You let me know. You can tell me better. You know what I'm saying? Look at Ray. Ray, stop like you like years away, bro. You're right there. So relax, bro. Hit the sip on that water, because don't make me put you out there because you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You acting like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's your business, but it could be everybody's business.
Hey, man, look, I'm 47, y'all. I'm on the right side. I'm on the right side of 45.
Okay. I guess, man. Hey, man, you be blessed to make it this far. You know what I mean? Right. Wherever you are out there, to make it this far where we at, you be blessed to make it this far. So salute to all my OGs in the room who are well over 45 years old. They don't know what we've been through. They don't know what it took to get here, and they don't know if they're going to make it. So they should just be sitting here taking notes. Shout out to all the OGs in the building, man. Salute, man. Let's continue to go down here. Ill Will put the $5 in the chat, in the super chat. Thank you for the support, man. The color's beautiful. Says got an hour drive, 2 last stops. Thanks for the entertainment, no doubt, man. We'll be right here dialed in, man, keeping you dialed into what's going on in the boxing space. Stay tuned in, man. We're gonna talk about all that today. We got so much to talk about, man, in this space today. Bulbasac, I mean, I just see you so much in the chat, so I know you're a legitimate supporter of this channel, but the name is diabolical, bro. Bulbasac is a diabolical name to me. I don't know, but I'm going to say it because I see you here enough to where I know you're not trolling, man. It says, if you didn't get the knockdown, it would have been a draw. That's insane. No doubt. Let's see here, going down the list. Mr. Ishmael in the building. Salute. King says, Clay Ray in the chat with the salute, man. Salute back at you. Pugilism in the building says Canelo got all the pressure on him to KO Bud. Respect to Canelo for taking a Saudi bag and giving Bud a shot. Canelo fans will turn court on him 9-14. Oh, I hope it ain't so, but they might. I don't know. We're going to see what they say, man. I think a lot of questions are going to get answered for Canelo as well. People say he has nothing to gain from this. I don't think so. I think to see Canelo compete in a cerebral way to potentially outbox Terrence Crawford, I think if he beats Terrence Crawford the right way, it's going to speak to his pedigree and might even re-cement his place in boxing, where people had questions. This fight, I think he has a lot to gain from this fight. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it, obviously. Let me see here. The Cardenas, Blue Blood. Yeah. Blue Blood said we definitely the unks. For sure, right? It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Like I said, we blessed, man. All these grays earned, every single last one of them. Made it through on the other side of something and popped out with a gray. I'll take that reward every time. You know what I'm saying? Popped out on the other side of that drama, got a gray out of it, but I survived it. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all don't know to get your head lower and wouldn't have made it to the other side of some of the things we've been through, bro. So it is what it is, man. All right, man. Look, man, we added again. You already know. First of all, Ray Davis, how you doing, family? Speak to the people. Speak to me. Let them know you're in good space, good health. It's Saturday. How you feeling?
Man.
Talk to them, man.
Staying busy at work, staying focused at work, getting everything I got to do to survive, take care of my family, doing some improvements to the house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm always here to support my brother Clay. I'm always here to support Blue. You know what I mean? I might not always say something, but I'm always there. Trust me. Man, boxing is in a great. Pro Box did its thing. If they're going to get a lot of young stars. I'm actually waiting for my cousin to get up there. You know what I mean? I heard they was talking to
Talking about Josiah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gonna go somewhere. I don't know where he going yet, but he gonna go somewhere. He might land there. They might pick him up, but
Did you watch the whole card last night? Or you just caught a couple fights, or because I know
couple fights.
There's some good fights on the card last night.
What? That Benjamin Johnson fight was pretty decent, and then the one after that.
Yeah, Ben Johnson, I like him, man. Yo, senior.
They working with him.
Senior got one there. He got one, man.
Yeah, they working with him. I was going to just say, you know what I mean, working with Roach. They got a good game plan. So what I wanted to touch base on is exactly what you said about everybody writing off Canelo, like, you know what I mean, like he ain't supposed to be there.
Well, Canelo or Terrence?
No, Canelo. Like a lot of people are saying, like he's. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
They're calling it. They saying he cherry picking. You know what I mean? Like it's a can't win, can't lose situation for him. And like you said, I don't believe that. I don't think he's cherry picking. I think he found a reason to fight Bud. Right? He didn't want to fight Bud, but he found a reason. It wasn't the money. It was that revenge, that rematch with Floyd. He said it.
The money a little bit. Come on, man. That bag.
Listen, man, it was always the money, Clay.
Come on, man. Over $100 million. The money, man.
But he had to put
money.
When a man has to figure out reasons why, and he said it's his rematch with Floyd that he never got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He figured out a reason. Yeah, the money always makes a difference. But what I'm saying is that decision to put that in your mind, saying, look, that one got away from me. I need to get my revenge, and this is my revenge tour. This is the guy I need to get my revenge against, because he's exactly where Floyd was at the time when I fought him. You know what I mean? Number 3 in the pound for pound, number 2 in the pound for pound, number 1 in the pound for pound. The most talked about current fighter in the middle divisions, and willing to come up and fight me. I think Canelo's like, I can't let this one get away. I can't let it get away. And he knows the skill set of Crawford. So
I think personally, I think it started off a cherry pick. I think it started off easy money. I think it was like, Saudi, I'm telling you, don't throw this guy in the ring with me, but you're gonna pay me $100+ million. All right, man. Listen, man, it ain't nothing for me. He's a little guy to me. But I think as the weeks have developed and he's understanding, I think there is the moment I saw him bring in Jaron Ennis, I was like, he's taking this serious. He's not playing. Yeah. He's taking it serious.
When he seen how big he was in the professor, I think that's when it woke him up a little bit. Like, yo, this guy, you know what I mean? He just is big.
Right. Yeah, you might be right. That little face off when he tried to push off on him, he got to feel that strength. He pushed on him. He got to feel that, and then he saw Terrence walk him down, and you know what I mean? Like, I think he felt it. He there's some understanding. And I'm telling you, Ray, like the psychology in this fight is something that people are not looking at all the way. People are just automatically using 100,000 different triangle theories, right? And they're using the Canelo who fought Danny, the Canelo who fought James Kirkland, the Canelo who fought Dimitri Bivol, the Canelo who fought Triple G. That this guy can't. You're using this triangle theory, and I'm on the other side of a conversation when it comes to that, and I'm saying, what if Terrence Crawford is different than all of those guys? And I'm not saying better than necessarily. I'm just saying legitimately different, right? If Terrence is just legitimately different than all of those guys and presents a set of skills and presents adversity or the ability to give Canelo Alvarez enough adversity in that ring to force that man to adjust speed, pace, strategy, everything, depending on the Terrence Crawford that's able to show up that night on September 13th. Right. If that's the case, this fight becomes very interesting just like that, right?
Yep.
Right?
That's what's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That's what's crazy about it, because when you get to that point of Canelo seeing Bud as something that he's worth fighting. Got to remember, Bud knocked out homeboy faster than he did. You know what I mean? Like, let's play the triangle theory for a second. He knocked out Amir Khan faster than he did. right? I believe. I think he showed he was able
and he dominated Amir Khan,
right.
Whereas Canelo was really, people got to be honest with himself. He was struggling with Amir, man. Amir was giving him hands, putting hands on him, like real good movement, and he clipped him. He caught him with that nice shot. It was a setup. It was beautiful. Nothing lucky about it, but yeah, when it comes to those type of fighters, Canelo has shown some holes in his game keeping up with those fighters, and he becomes one-minded. He becomes OTM, one-track minded. He starts looking for that knockout. He starts walking you, stalking you, trying to do all of that, and he never adjusts and says, you know what, I got a box. I'm going to outbox you until I can knock you out. He doesn't outbox him. He just lasts. He pushes that pace. When it came to Caleb, tested that conditioning, right? Really just broke Caleb down conditioning-wise, but outside of that, really, Caleb was giving Canelo all he could handle, right?
Crazy work, right? So, you know what I mean? So when I look at these things, and like I said, we can play a lot of different ways in these conversations. Another situation is its opponent Triple G beat up Kell Brook. And then he beat up Kell Brook. So I mean, like I said, you can put who went up to 154 to come back down. But we have to look at it in the sense of all these things that it's not undoable, right? Manny Pacquiao went up 8 divisions, Clay. Right? He went up as far as 154. Nobody told him he couldn't do it, and he beat these dudes up. So why is it too hard to believe that Bud can't go up that far? You know what I mean? 3, 4, 5 divisions from 135 to do it. 6 divisions. Why? It ain't hard.
Well, I mean, it is.
I'm saying well, my bad. I'm saying it's a skill set, right? Skills pay the bills. That's what they say. And yes, punch resistance there, this and that. You know, we know these guys cut weight, so that plays a part too. You know what I mean? When you're not cutting weight as much and you come in healthier, you come in, I mean, with an understanding that, you know what I mean, this guy's gonna be right there. I'm gonna be myself now, because now I ain't got to come in here looking like a skeleton. I'll come in here the way I want to come in here, be strong. Hey, man, it's all gonna play its part. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a legitimate reason. I think there's legitimate arguments out there. Anybody who's pushing for Canelo and talking about the weight class difference and talking about we're talking about the face of boxing, right? An undisputed champion at 168, somebody who went up to 175, got himself a belt, beat Sergey Kovalev, fought Dmitry Bivol for 12 rounds, lost the fight on the cards, but still sat up in there with, you know, quite frankly, one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world right now, Dmitry Bivol. When we're talking about boxing, when we're talking about the sweet science, Dmitry Bivol really just encompasses that. He brings that to the table, right? So I get it, man. Without a doubt, there's an understanding, even from Terrence Bud Crawford, on the magnitude of the challenge that he's jumping into the ring with. So, people who feel like this may be too much for Terrence Bud Crawford to chew, that he may have bit off more than he can chew. Yeah, maybe. You might be right. This is Canelo Alvarez, right? Explosive power, athleticism, and a understated boxing IQ and pedigree that he brings to the table. Is it more than Terrence Crawford? We'll find out September 13th. Is it equivalent to Terrence Crawford? Quite possibly so. Is Terrence Crawford better than Canelo Alvarez? Very possibly, right? Because Terrence Crawford brings a specific, special group of skills that make this fight intriguing. Not just anybody coming from 147 pounds or 154 pounds, as we saw Jermell Charlo attempt and looked horrible trying to do it. Not just anybody can do this. I understand. This is not for everybody. But as I've stated before, special fighters, I emphasize special fighters, do special things. And of course, Terrence Crawford, on the back end of a victory against Canelo Alvarez and on the back end of potentially stopping Canelo Alvarez, will be accomplishing something very, very special on September 13th if he does this. But as a boxing fan, even if you know in your mind and you believe Canelo Alvarez is going to win this fight, there's got to be a little part in your brain where, what if? And that what if right there is something that will always be there until these guys get in the ring with each other. And why are you saying what if? Because if he does this, this might be one of the best things that's happened for boxing in over 50 years. Like, just something that reignites the intrigue into the sport, takes a casual fan into a whole nother space that they've never been in, open up the mind to belief of possibilities of things that can happen in the ring, maybe even inspire a next generation of fighters to test themselves. I'm on the back end of Terence Crawford being announced against Canelo Alvarez. All of a sudden, you see Shakur talking about fighting Conor Ben, right? You see fighters moving through the weight classes and trying to achieve and accomplish certain things. So just imagine on the back end of him being able to accomplish this with a victory and becoming a 3-weight class undisputed champion. I've said it before in my shorts. I've said it maybe in my other videos and other lives, but inspirational, brother. Inspirational, man. And this makes this fight intriguing. And seeing Terence Crawford in that picture, the way he was looking, and listening to Andre Ward in that interview, I was already thinking about it, right? But he really just brought it to the table, and he said, you guys are looking at this the wrong way. And you tell me what you think about this, Ray. He says, you guys keep looking at it like Terence Crawford is putting all this weight on. You keep looking at it like, yo, this man is not that big. And you're not looking at it in the real way. And Andre Ward, somebody who has feet on the ground perspective on this, is saying to the space, this ain't Terence Crawford putting on a bunch of weight. This is Terence Crawford cutting less weight. He's cutting less weight. This is different than him putting on weight. What do you think about that as far as the difference between cutting less weight or putting on more weight? Is there a difference there, or is it the same thing? Is it tomato?
Nope, difference. Literally something I mentioned earlier. Definitely a difference. Because when we look at it and we understand it, and I say he ain't got to go in there drained and feeling like a skeleton. He even looked crazy against Madrimov when he weighed in. You know what I mean? Look a little skinny there. You know what I mean? To later come in hydrated and look totally different. So that shows you that he should have been a 160-pounder probably anyway. You know, these guys stayed at the division. I think the welterweight division. I think him and Earl stayed there way too long. I think Boots stayed there way too long. But I think we got to get to the point where we got to understand that boxers are trying to win as many, and this is what I learned, Clay, and try to collect as many belts throughout the divisions as possible so they can move up into a comfortable space as they get older and get ready to ride to the sunset, where they don't have to cut the weight as much. They're more comfortable at their weight they need to be in. Whether this is Bud's last fight or he continues, I think it's his last. I'll be honest with you. Win, lose, or draw, this is what he set up to do, to be the best, man, and fight the best. And you can't blame a man for that. I mean, you can't blame a competitor to always want to push himself to be the best. So at the end of the day, Bud, to me, is going to always be looked at as one of the best fighters throughout the history of boxing. Now, do I think he's, because, you know, everybody say he's the best of all time, great of all time. People like to throw that shit out there. You know what I mean? Bud's allowed to feel that way. He is. His team's allowed to feel that way. We don't have to feel that way. Let's keep it real. We don't have to feel that way, Clay. We just have to understand that this guy's daring to be great. This guy's daring to show a consistency in the way he's been boxing. And he's chasing his own legacy. You know what I mean? And allow him to do so. We don't need to criticize him for that. We don't need to talk about things distracting just to throw stuff out there. He's a drug cheat. He's on snack, glove gate, all these things you try to do to throw the fans into a distraction. How come we can't just talk about the fight? Talk about the money. Y'all want to talk about, drop my headset, whatever. We want to talk about the money. Let's talk about the money. Whatever. We can do that. Because y'all sure as hell talking about the money with Tank. And y'all know that's a damn crazy lopsided fight. That's more lopsided than anything I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? But when it came to Bud, it's oh hell no. He can't go up that many weight divisions to fight somebody and this and that. But you're talking about a guy that's not even going to come close to 150, 160. About to fight a guy damn near 230 pounds.
Well, that fight right there is also into And I mean, that's something to talk about to some degree as far as these exhibitions as well. But shout out to Freedom's March saying, here's to your success, man. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Every bit. I love it. Thank you, man. It helps out, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. The distractors are going to be the distractors, right? But the magnitude of this fight is already cemented in stone. Everybody who understands. The people who don't won't, or maybe they will on September 13th. But whatever, that's what's up. But at the same time, you know, as far as the fight, specifically speaking towards the fight, and Terrence Crawford, you know, cutting this weight, a lot of people from his camp now speaking on, you know, the power that is going to shock the space, the strength is going to shock the space. That indeed the whole entire narrative of Terrence Crawford being the smaller guy in the ring and the weaker guy and the guy who needs to prove to the world that he can weather the punch. Well, people are like, okay, that's one part of it. Terrence Crawford weathering a campaign of shots from Canelo Alvarez is definitely something that's realistic. But I don't think, I think the whole narrative behind the idea that Canelo Alvarez can't be hurt by Terrence Crawford and that he doesn't need to be aware of the shots coming back at him from Terrence Crawford, I think that narrative legitimately may and probably needs to be tested and will be tested. And I think once we get past that, if Terrence Crawford is able to debunk the idea behind him not being a threat to Canelo Alvarez in a physical way, if he's able to approach that and debunk that, this immediately changes the whole temperature of the room. And I think this fight becomes a way different fight, because I don't hear people saying Canelo's going to outbox Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford can't keep up with Canelo's speed. Terrence Crawford can't keep up with Canelo's cerebral the cerebral approach he has to the fight. Terrence Crawford can't. All I hear about floating around the room is this size and strength thing. So it was the same thing, and I'm not trying to use the triangle theory, but I feel like with the Errol Spence fight, it was kind of like the same thing going into that fight. Like, yeah, Terrence is nice, but yo, he ain't gonna be able to deal with this pressure coming from Errol. He ain't gonna be able to deal with this with the strength. Errol's gonna be able to manhandle and do this. As soon as that got out the way by round 2, most people put they understood that once that got debunked, this fight was going to be a fight where Errol was going to have to step up, adjust, and box. And most people felt like this is going to be a disadvantage for Errol, and this is where he's going to lose. And I think Canelo Alvarez, I believe, comes with a better pedigree than Errol Spence does. I think he's a better boxer, but I think he's going to have to tap into something. And the next question in the conversation is going to become, as we are all creatures of habits, Ray, right? We all do what we do most of the time, all of the time. When was the last time Canelo Alvarez had to become that cerebral mind? He had to bring that cerebral mind to the stage and compete on that level. Can he go back into that bag? Can he bring out the Canelo Alvarez that fought against Danny Jacobs? Can he bring out the Canelo Alvarez who competed with a Miguel Cotto or with an Erislandy Lara, or, you know what I mean? Can he go back into that bag and compete? When he fought Dimitri Bivol, it didn't seem like he had the answers to the boxing, because people really emphasize on Canelo Alvarez losing that fight against Dimitri Bivol, but they say, oh, he was challenging himself. Dimitri was so much bigger. But I would argue Dimitri Bivol didn't use his size as much as his boxing pedigree. He outboxed Canelo Alvarez in that fight. Yay or nay on that? How you feel about that?
I agree. And just to your point, I was going to say, we forget, like you mentioned earlier, Canelo went up from 160 to 175 to fight Kovalev. And a lot of people forget that. Like, he jumped up that far and won. And how did he win, Clay? How did he beat Kovalev?
I don't know, sir. Speak to the world. How do you beat him?
Then he stopped. I know that. Thank you. He stopped him, right? So to say that Canelo can't be stopped by Bud because he's smaller is ridiculous, bonkers. That's funny that I mean that I'm using that word, but it's bonkers, bro. Like, it's crazy right now. But we have to understand that. So Bud has the same abilities and the same skill sets to do so. You know what I mean? His thing is he has more of the better skill set of boxing compared to the IQ of boxing. Now, I'll give Canelo this. He's seen a lot more boxing than Bud has. And he's seen how to defend. He knows how to approach. He probably fell into and the reason why he doesn't have to change much, Clay, is because he probably fought a lot of boxers the same way and figured out, hey, if I just do this, that's all I need to do. He might have figured that out. Of course, it didn't work with Bivol. You know what I mean? The bigger, longer range fighter, longer reach and stuff like that. But how does it work against Bud, who also has a longer reach and slightly bigger? Does that make a difference? So we have to look at that as a strong possibility that Bud can stop Canelo. You know what I mean? It's not about who you are, it's where you are in the moment when it happens. And that's what we need to recognize, man. And a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think I think a lot of people don't get that. Some people do get it, but I do think, and that's what makes this fight intriguing, man. I think it's just an opportunity for people to get recalibrated into the boxing. I think a lot of people have a lot of ideas that haven't been properly challenged. And I mean in the ring, right? The ideas haven't been properly challenged. There's always been asterisks or X factors involved in those ideas being challenged. So, right. For example, you might see Canelo go up and fight Sergey Kovalev, for example, and all of a sudden in your mind, you know what I mean, this dude's a giant killer. Can't nobody smaller now compete with Canelo, right? Yeah, he's a giant killer. What's a regular guy going to do? You see what he did against Sergey, and all of a sudden Sergey becomes like this, this impenetrable warrior, right? This phenomenon that nobody could do, and Canelo, reshaped a lot of people's ideas about who he was with his ability to go up in the weight classes, unify, become undisputed at 168, and even become a champion and pursue unifications at 175. And so now he's superhuman, and the regular rules of boxing no longer stand for him. Right, the regular rules of boxing no longer deal with him because he's a different special fighter. And I think Saturday we have an opportunity to see ideas on what boxing is be challenged, and therefore open up the door to all kinds of new ideas and new fights and new opportunities for fighters that you slept on. You look at Lamont Roach getting ready to go up. He went from 130 as a champion, came up with a loss, right? Became a champion at 130, went up as who's that guy? Last time we seen that guy, he was down here. Now he's over here at 135 fighting a face of boxing, pound for pound fighter, puncher in Gervonta Tank Davis, and seeing him take him 12 rounds and arguably beat him, arguably frustrate him, outbox him, and had enough power to keep him honest. Now going up to the next level to go up to 140 to challenge Cruz, a pressure fighter, a puncher, somebody who ran 12 rounds with Gervonta Tank Davis, X factor, included. The idea that Gervonta hurt his hand in that fight, things of that nature, but still Lamont gets to go up there and challenge him for an interim WBC title. And now people are looking at that fight like, I think Lamont's going to win. This coming off of a who the hell is that? A cherry pick for Gervonta Tank Davis, now going up another weight class to challenge for a title. So it just takes the right stylistic matchmaking. It takes the dancing partners to be the correct dancing partners to completely change the whole entire landscape of what boxing fans look at boxing as, right? Just takes that right fight. And I think this fight right here may check the boxes and has the ability to do that, right?
And to make another comparison, Clay, and look who people are rooting for in this one, right? Mm-hmm. So you got a guy who just lost it anyway at 122. Moved up to 126, regained the title in 2 fights. Now moving to 130 to try to get another title. And Scooter, I'm call him Scooter Davis. And Scooter, wow, I'm brain farting right now, no words, but I'm talking about Scooter, right? So he's going up there to fight.
Scooter Davis yesterday?
No, not Scooter Davis. I'm talking about
Stephen Fulton.
Stephen Fulton, thank you. Yeah. And I think he's going up there to fight Shockey, right? And Shock is ready. You know what I mean? Shock telling him he's too small. But then everybody it don't matter how the size he is. It don't matter. He just did the same thing. He just went up to one division. Now he's up again. So that's 2 divisions in my book that I checked in 2 fights. So
yeah, he got knocked out at 122, went to 126, got knocked on his pockets by Carlos Castro, came back, fought Brandon Figueroa, got himself an interim WBC title at 126, now challenging, quite frankly, maybe the best 130-pound champion in there, or one of them at least. You could maybe argue Emmanuel Navarrete in the conversation, but I think a lot of people would put O'Shaquie Forster as that guy. And now Stephen Fulton's going up there to challenge himself. And I think O'Shaquie, he might be wrong, but he makes a legitimate argument, right? To be like, brother, you a 122-pound fighter, bro.
Right. But my point is, everybody's rooting for Fulton. but nobody's rooting for Bud because, you know what I mean? Where's the love in the game at? We should be supporting, because I don't hear any, and I'm not going to say there's not. I will never say there's not nobody that's of Mexican or Latino background that's not supporting Canelo, right? But there's a large side that is supporting Canelo. Like the numbers is astronomical. That is either Latino, Central American, or Mexican that's supporting Canelo, not looking towards Bud. They're like, yo, he's gonna crush him, right? Maybe 5%, maybe even less than that, saying, oh no, Bud gonna win. But we, our own people, instead of supporting our guy, we going out there saying, yo, he too small, yo, he's this, he's on a snack, he's that, like anything and everything to throw shade at the fight, man, instead of getting that man his props for testing greatness. He don't have a franchise belt, y'all. He ain't gonna go up there, win or lose and keep his title and go back down and ain't gonna be able to move around the divisions. He can't do that. He going up there to win, and he only got one shot. You know what I mean? It's up for us to put our boxing rooting for our fingers, whatever, number one fingers or whatever, Clay. Put them up there and support the brother, man. You know what I mean? Support boxing, support Canelo as well. Don't you know what I mean? Don't throw no shade at him, but I'm just thinking it's crazy that we are the only people that can turn our back on our own people when you got a whole nation sitting behind the other fella that's in the ring. That's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy. I think I don't know. For me, I've already processed and taken understanding of what the space is, bro. Like I don't think it's crazy. I think it's exactly what it is. What's crazy if it was been something else. Listen, man, Terrence Crawford has been doing an uphill battle against the boxing space, supporting him, dismissing his accomplishments, everything he does. He knows what it is. He's been dealing with this his whole life, and you know, there's an argument to be made that he's learned to use this as legitimate fuel. That this is needed. That maybe this is exactly, you know, taking Jerron Ennis and him going over there to spar Canelo, and not a shot at Jerron at all, right? But people trying to turn that and highlight that into he's off cold. Jerron should be. Terrence don't even care. Why? Because I've never had a crowd of people that I was standing in front of and that was cheering me on, and it's never been that. It's always been underestimated, understated, dismissed. This is my whole life, from my mother up into this present moment right now, right? So yeah, it doesn't, I don't care, man. I think the fight, and if anything, I'm gonna be real with you, I look at it like a half full cup rather than half empty, because now people who are going to be tuned into this fight are going to be tuned in to either see Canelo win the fight or to see a good boxing match, and that's what they're going to get. Will they celebrate Terrence at the end of this and say he's one of the greatest? People who are being honest with themselves will. But worst case scenario, I think the boxing fans in the space are going to see a boxing match that's going to inspire them and motivate them to see more boxing, which is great for the sport. Shout out to Pop Shop Talk in the building with the $2. Appreciate the support to the channel family. Thank you, man. Says Canelo fans can see everything but it happening to him. Yeah, I agree. Nobody can see. You see Canelo Alvarez get wobbled or buckled in this fight, it's going to mess up a whole lot of people's whole entire view on boxing. Yep. It's going to mess with them. It's going to mess with them.
And I agree. You're right. But black on black crime, I just want to shout that out, man. That's not the biggest crime. I get what you say. I know it's a joke. But yeah, man, we know that's the statistic they put out there. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's because they're able to manipulate that number. You know what I mean? They don't report everything on the other side, and they kind of make everything a smaller case because they plead to a lot. But they got the money for the lawyers to defend them. It is what it is, though. You know what I mean? We get it. Get it. I understand what you're saying, the Cardenas. For real. Salute for that, man. But listen, at the end of the day, somebody put it in there, too. I was just about to say, look, man, at the end of the day, these are both warriors, Clay, and we got to recognize that. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're gonna get either the pound for pound best boxer of all time, or in his case, I should say, or the pound for pound fighter of this era versus the king of boxing of this era. And somebody gonna take that crown from each other. So we're gonna see what happens.
No doubt. Shout out. Fredo said Bud was known as top ranked Toby by so many people.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel genuine if now those same people were Bud fans. 100%, man.
You know
100%.
what? That's funny. I forgot about that name. For real.
I think that man, for me, like this fight I just can't marginalize this fight to the Space's hate. I can't do it. Like I don't care. Right. So it's like I can't do it. It's hard for me to dial into that algorithm because I genuinely don't care. And I know at this point, real boxing fans don't care. That Space is just doing what that Space has done.
Yeah, it's a revenge story.
I don't look at it and go, I don't even look at it.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't, because it just doesn't matter anymore. It's too far gone. It's like the boat leaving the shore, and as the boat gets further and further, the shoreline just starts to disappear, and it's like I don't even see it anymore. We've just gotten so the fight has been promoted, and I'm watching the All Access, I'm watching the buildup, I'm watching Terrence Crawford's camp, I'm watching all the work he's done, I'm watching how he's looking, I'm looking at the support he's getting around him with Steve Nelson and Lester Martinez and Bomac and Shakur and Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley. I'm looking at real pundits in this space speaking on this fight in a real way. I'm looking at trainers, other fighters looking at it like this fight is going to be competitive. I'm looking at people who were on the fence on where they were going to go. I'm looking at Ade Adolopo saying, man, I got to go with Terrence this time around. No, I said Canelo Alvarez. And what am I looking at? I'm looking at the boxing space slowly but surely be sold on this fight. Be looking at it, like looking at all the intangibles and all these different variables that they weren't looking at before. And they're like, damn, you know what? Damn, I'm looking at Sean Porter be like, listen, man, Canelo is not old, but he's not going this way anymore. Is he going this way? Maybe, but more than likely he's going this way. He hasn't really been challenged like that before. Terrence Crawford may very well be in his prime physical space and mental space. He has a lot of data to reference from. He has a lot of experience of his own. He's a champion. He's undefeated. He's fought and beat the best at every division he was in, had to offer. You know what I mean? People have ducked him for years, have tried to dismiss his accomplishments for years. It doesn't matter at this point. It just doesn't matter. They're fighting next weekend on September 13th, man. They're fighting on September 13th, man, and everything else doesn't matter anymore because the fight's happening. We're getting closer and closer. The days are ticking away, and we're getting to a space now to where all the extra chitty chat doesn't add up to nothing because it didn't stop the fight from happening, and it's not going to stop us from seeing what's going to happen on September 13th. It's not going to stop Terrence Crawford from doing what he needs to do, and it's not going to stop Canelo Alvarez from doing what he needs to do. Hate or anything in between doesn't matter, man. Bam Rodriguez is picking Bud 100%. Pop Shot Talk with the $2, man. I appreciate the support again, man. The space has changed, man. Boxing is changing right now. It's heading into a great direction. Pay-per-view model destroyed. Millions of people are going to get an opportunity to see this card. Not just Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, but Billy and Martinez and Serhii Bahachuk and Brandon Adams and all these other fights. And, shout out to Fernando Vargas Jr. is getting an opportunity to be on the big stage and showcase what him and his family's been working on as a family. They've been doing so many great things in the space. It's going to be great to see him get an opportunity to show out. Right, and make something special happen. Caleb Walsh gets an opportunity to show out. He's been, not afforded the biggest stages to perform on, and now with Turkey, we'll get to see what Ireland has going on with Caleb Walsh. And then all the fighters that we don't know, Jermaine Franklin gets an opportunity at the big stage. All the fighters who we're not aware of, we're going to get a chance to see them as well. So yeah, man, are the people hating? Yeah, there's a community out there that's doing what they've been doing for years. But I'm going to be real with you. The magnitude of this fight and everything that comes with this fight has drowned those guys out. Their voices, I don't even want to give them a voice because in reality, you don't matter. You haven't mattered for a long time. But this one right here shows how much you don't matter because all your facts and all the this is what it is, and nobody wants to see this fight, and Terrence ain't do nothing to earn it, and this is messed up, and this is a cherry pick. All that didn't add up to nothing. The fight still came through. Bud is still getting the biggest bag he ever got. Canelo Alvarez is still getting the biggest bag he ever got. They're still going to fill up Allegiant Stadium. The views are still going to go through the roof. It's still doing what it's doing. So it shows you don't count, or at least you don't have your finger on the pulse of what's really going on in the sport. So it doesn't matter.
Correct.
It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
I think it's crazy what we just read in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad at him. You know what I mean? It's just support. But if the fight is boring, why is the fight boring? We have to ask ourselves, what makes a boring fight?
We don't have to ask ourselves.
No. Not me and you. Not me and you.
No. But what I'm saying is
that
guy doesn't need to, because September 13th is coming. The fight is happening. If it's going to be boring, it's going to be boring. If at this point, on this Saturday, on the whatever today's date is, the 6th of September, we know that we're 7 days away from this fight happening. You're still trying to dismiss or knock this fight. It's a waste of your time. And it's really just like, the projection is starting to just make you look bad at this point. If this is a space you continue to want to stand on, then fine, right? But it don't matter. It should show you don't matter. If that's what you've been saying, and if what you've been saying is true, then why is Allegiant Stadium, why are the tickets damn near sold out, if not sold out? Why is every real boxing platform talking about this fight?
Damn, you took my build out. I was about to go there, Clay, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, it don't matter, bro.
Exactly.
I didn't see the comment, but
yeah, no, that's cool. It's cool. We're gonna keep moving.
You know what I mean? It's too lit.
I just love it
to be because you know why, Ray? Because if I acknowledge all that nonsense that's going on right now, if I acknowledge it and I speak to it, then I'm giving some relevance to something that's clearly not relevant.
Correct.
It's not relevant. The jacket for the PEDs did not resonate throughout the space. It resonated in this community that's got the crab in the barrel mentality, tearing each other down. It resonated on those platforms, but the world didn't even acknowledge it. The world didn't even acknowledge it. All the big space didn't even acknowledge it. So it just goes to show you how much of a niche space that hatred is. And the reality is, on a world stage, nobody is entertaining none of that nonsense. Nobody is, man. Nobody in real time is acknowledging that, except for people in this space.
Well,
nobody cares.
Let's be clear. People in the space that we have, like in the reporting space, because the boxers are talking. The boxers are excited. You know what I mean? The athletes are excited. The pundits are excited. But this YouTube space and all these content creators, they're dropping negative dimes to it. The fan base that follow them, they drop negative dimes to it. Not everything has to be the way that these people say. They're not experts. You know what I mean? Yes, we would all like to be experts. You know what I mean? We think we are because we talk about it every day. But we have to look at it as it's boxing. Like Clay said, they're building the sport. The sport is growing because of this. They're putting on a new show. You know what I mean? A whole new thing they're headlining. So they're bringing in something perfect. You know what I mean?
Jalil Hackett's going to be on the underdogs card. Right. He's coming back in here. I don't know what weight class he's coming in. I hope it's 154, but maybe 147.
No, he's going up. I think he said 160. I think.
See, so man, there's just so much happening right now, man. I just don't. I don't care. I don't even know what these guys are talking about, bro. I don't even care. I don't even know what y'all niggas is talking about, bro. Abdullah Mason's about to become is about to get an opportunity to become a WBO champion on November 22nd. Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. are going to be fighting each other on November 22nd. David Benavidez. We got a whole American of some of the best fighters we have to offer here and up and coming. That's going to be showcased on a world stage level. Yeah, for whatever you're saying, man. Yeah, man. Like, for whatever y'all saying. Yeah, man. What? Yeah, man. Like, what do you want me?
It is.
Doesn't matter. Of course, from my point of view, if you want my perspective, it's pathetic, but that doesn't matter, right? It's not going to stop you from being pathetic. Pathetic would have been gone a long time ago if people who saw Pathetic's voices mattered. Pathetic is good on its own. It operates on its own strength and its energy, because as long as there's enough pathetic people around Pathetic will think that Pathetic has a space to exist in. It probably does in that little space. But if we broaden our horizons and look at this picture for what it really is in real time, bro, come on, bro. Monster Inoue's fighting the night after. Come on, bro. Gervonta Tank Davis is trying to get a fight sanctioned with Jake Paul. Mike Tyson and Mayweather are talking about fighting each other in early spring 2026. That's what that space you're talking about produces. You know, that space you're talking about, that's why we get to see Glorilla perform on a stage for a Kamala Harris presidential campaign, right? Because that space produces that. That's what these people you support think of you. That's what they do. What do they do? They're going to put a fight together with Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? That's what they think of you. Leave you looking dumb. What do they do? They give you Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather early spring.
You're going to be an effing fan, right?
Yeah, that's what they give you. That's what they think of you. You know what I'm saying? But boxing fans, world level boxing fans, the 90,000 plus people who pack out Wembley, 60,000 people who pack out that other stadium in England, you know what they produce? They produce a card like what's popping off in September 13th. That's what they produce.
Yep.
That's the fight. That's the big fight. And you can complain all you want about Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Jake Paul. You can complain all you want about Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather. But you know what? If that fight makes money, if the arena's packed out, shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. Them fights are there for you guys. That's what those fights are there for. You don't want those fights to show up no more than support the real. Support the real then. When Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are having a fight on September 13th, support the real, man. Support the real. Tell everybody to tap into that. Don't tear that down.
Right.
Don't tear that down, bro. Because when you tear that down, what's the alternative? You know what the alternative is, Ray? Gervonta versus Jake Paul. That's the alternative. When you tear down that card and you tear down that fight, the alternative is Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I mean, Mike Tyson versus with that too, but Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather. That's the alternative. You know what the alternative is? Keith Thurman versus
Keith Thurman versus Fundora.
Shout out to Keith Thurman though, and Sebastian Fundora, right? But that's what the alternative is. That's what the alternative is.
On pay-per-view, by the way.
On pay-per-view for $80. You go swipe your card. Whatever, bro. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe I'm hating.
Right.
That's fine too. That's fine too, man. You know what I mean? That being said, let's segue. Big fight. Terrence Crawford looking stronger, looking like he's done a great job putting on or cutting, however you want to look at it, that weight. Looks like he's going to be in top-notch condition for this fight. Made the sacrifices, done the cold plunges, done all these different things, taking these extra steps. And if we get 100% or 95+% version of Terrence Crawford in that ring Saturday, and we get the same thing from Canelo Alvarez, we get a 90+%, 95% plus version of him, then we have a fight, man. We have a great fight. Shout out to that whole entire undercard. That card is going to be those guys all get an opportunity on that big stage in front of that big arena. And let me tell you, the moment makes fights. Styles make fights, and the moment make fights. Does that make sense, Ray, what I'm saying when I say the moment?
Yeah, it
right?
does.
What does that mean? That means me and Ray could box each other in the gym and box each other a certain way. But we can get on the biggest stage and realize on the back end of a victory and a great performance, we're going to see so many more opportunities that we fight each other in a way you never see. Oh, damn, those are that ain't the same Ray and Clay that I was fighting in the gym, bro. What the hell?
Right. You know what they're going to say, Ray, Clay? They're going to say, Oh man, look at this. Look at this light-skinned fella, bro. He too pretty for this. He don't want to get in that ring. He don't
Yeah.
Then we
And
start fighting. They be like, oh,
and then that night, all of a sudden, you ain't got a smile cracked on your face because you thinking about this event. You thinking about what's really on the line. All of a sudden, they see an animal. They see Ray bite Clay. Like, what the hell? That what? Yo, I thought that was cool. But this damn stage right now, this opponent, if you don't put your hands up, bro, I'm gonna clean your shit up in front of everybody, bro. We'll talk about it tomorrow, man. We'll be okay. But tonight, you better protect yourself at all times, brother.
Exactly.
You see how many people in this building right now? 60,000+ people in this building. Turkey cutting these checks. If you don't bob and weave and move your head, bro, boy, get your shit. So yeah, the moment makes fights. And one thing about Turkey Al-Ashik's cards is it brings up the moment. The opportunity is too great for fighters to lollygag. Fatal Fury was 100% satin sheets and satin pajamas, an example of that. Those guys on that card weren't able to metabolize the actual moment. Devin Haney wasn't able to take that moment and be like, yo. In his mind, he was looking at Ryan Garcia in the next event. Ryan Garcia wasn't able to grab that moment because why? He already got so much money. He was already celebrated. He already has a community. He wasn't hungry enough. These fighters on that undercard are going to be hungry as hell, bro. We're going to see some great, I'm telling you, we're going to see some great fights on that undercard. We're going to look at two fighters come up to the ring and be like, man, who's this guy? Who's this guy? And when the fight is done, we're going to be like, yo, them niggas was fighting. Shit, like, damn, goddamn, bro, them dudes, that fight right there was crazy. Watch. Mark my words. Mark my words. You're going to look at some Eastern European last name that you can't even pronounce, fight some other dude that you never heard of, and they're going to fight each other in a way where you're going to be like, just like that Pro Box card last night. I ain't know a lot of those fighters. Yo, them dudes fought the shit out of each other last night on that Pro Box card, bro.
Yo, back and forth, right? What was his name? Torres, Venezuela? Luis Torres dropped that dude. What was it, in the 6th round?
Oh, you talking about the upset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that was crazy because they were going at it. They was back and forth.
Right. But low-key, the other dude was getting at him. He
was really dominating that fight.
Right.
And he got dropped. And then he got beat up on. And they took the belt from him. So you never know what's going to happen, man. When you get in that ring, it could be your worst night. It could be your best night. Yeah.
Yeah. So when the opportunity is great, those guys from DC last night had an opportunity. They understood it. Shout out to Scooter Davis. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ben Johnson. Shout out to those guys who realized, like, yo, DC's coming out tonight. We get to really make a statement. This is a promotional. That was a promotional event by Lamont Roach Sr. That was his promotion who headlined, right? Like Lamont Roach Sr.'s promotional company, No Excuses Entertainment or something like that. Yeah. They were the ones who put on the Fight for Real under the Pro Box banner. But those guys fought like, bro, this is it. This is our biggest opportunity, our biggest chances. You know what I mean? And they took advantage of it. You saw Rene Guerrero, right? The guy who sat, I think that was the guy who sat Schofield on his pockets, right? Yeah. Right? Oh, is that the guy who, that's the guy who sat Schofield on his pockets. Yeah. You saw how he fought. Right. You saw how he fought. He knew what was on the line. Right. That boy was cutting that ring off, putting hands and body on that boy early, got his attention real early. Real early. And let me tell you, what's even funny, let's go back to that Benjamin fight. Let's check it out. The shots they took, and I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. The shots they took at homie, talking about he should have took the knee, ran to the corner for his eye. Let me tell this corner, I can't see. Yeah. They stopped the fight. He's like, no. Yeah. Supposed to just wipe my eye, bro. I'm supposed to be able to put my head out the ring. You supposed to wipe my eye. Yo, that was funny. Yeah. They took shots at that, bro. They took shots. That fight was a real good fight because I love watching, Ben Johnson obviously get an opportunity to get rounds in it. That's like something, for example, like a Moses Atuma. You want to see him get an opportunity to be in the ring the way Ben got that opportunity because he was putting those punches together. But the guy who was fighting was a tried true kind of almost veteran, like not a winner, but somebody who could weather the storm, who was tough. And he sat in that ring and dealt with a lot of Ben Johnson's, gave Ben Johnson an opportunity to work on that jab, level change, work that body. I loved at the end of that, I don't know what round it was, whether it was a second or third round, but he kind of had homie out of there, but dude recovered, and Ben Johnson showed that pedigree to be able to slow it back down, get back on that jab, you know what I'm saying, and take control of that fight again. I love the work to the body. I think Senior got a real one on his hand with Ben Johnson. I ain't gonna lie. I think he got a real one.
He do. Yo, and he welterweight too. He's 6 foot, bro. He's 6 foot tall.
And he's young. So yeah, 154 is probably right there.
Right there. I was thinking the same thing, Clay. I was like, yo, he's about to move up quick.
But 154 is right there.
They're getting him tested right now. They're just getting him in the waters. And that dude he fought, I forgot his name, but that guy he fought was
good card.
I think his name was it wasn't Torres. It was
Salute, Dub. I know Dub was there last night. I seen you on the I seen your video. I know you was there with your sons last night, man, at that event. In my mind, yo, Dub, I'm gonna call you a little bit later anyway, because I've changed some things. I'm gonna talk to you later, man. I'm gonna make my way to DC sooner than you think. I made some big changes. I'm gonna talk to you about them a little later. Answer your phone. I mean, you always answer your phone. Like that.
You gotta hit him on the gram, bro.
Nah. He always pick up. If I call him, he pick up.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
if he don't pick up,
when I call him, he pick up, but then he called me back because he always get disconnected. And then I'll be sleeping.
I'll be talking to you. I made those changes that I was talking about, Dub. We talked about it before. And I made some big changes. I'm betting on myself. I'm gonna talk to you. You know, we're gonna have one of our conversations later. We're gonna have one of our conversations, Dub. We're gonna have one of those conversations. But yeah, man, amazing, man. So yeah, segueing out of that and going into Lamont Roach. Let's just go ahead and dial into Lamont Roach a little bit. So it looks like this is starting to get some real legs under it. It looks like Lamont Roach and Cruz. They're looking to get that going on in December, and it's going to be for Cruz WBC interim title that he's holding at 140 right now. I don't know if people realize that he actually walked away with an interim title on the back of that victory with Omar Salcido, right? That fight it's supposed to be Angel Fierro too, but Fierro had to pull out that fight. He fought Omar Salcido and, you know, put on one of those performances, man. Let me tell you, Cruz, one thing he's going to give you is a show. Win, lose, or draw. However you feel about it going into the fight, one thing for sure, Isak's going to give you that he's going to give you that entertainment. And I think this is a great dance partner for Lamont Roach, right? It's an opportunity for Lamont Roach to be in the ring with a fighter. Agree with me or disagree with me, let me know. But I'm thinking maybe the kind of fight that fans wanted to see Gervonta, or the pressure. Like, people kind of thought that Lamont was going to be able to weather the pressure that Tank was going to put on him, that Tank was going to go for these knockouts, and Tank didn't, right? He became very reserved and very cerebral and wanted to box and pick his shots with Lamont and made the fight turn out the way it did. And I think people are expecting that version of Tank, the version that walked down Frank Martin, right? Cut the ring off and gave him all that pressure and broke him. They wanted to see Tank do that to Lamont, but Lamont stood his ground. He didn't run around the ring. He didn't move around the ring. He sat there, traded shots, caught shots. You know what I'm saying? Did a lot of counter punching. Gave Tank a lot of different looks that seemed to be frustrating Tank. So, but that being said, Isak got one gear, right, and one way of coming. He's coming forward. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's getting low. He's attacking that body. He's coming over the top with hooks. He's coming over the top with overhand rights, and he's coming with uppercuts up the middle. He's got a great high guard, not easy to hit. You're going to have to work it. We saw what Ryo was able to do with Isak and what ultimately had to happen in order for him to make that fight happen. How do you feel about this fight? Do you think this is a good stylistic matchmaking fight that's been made for Lamont?
I think it's a great fight. Ultimately, stylistically, I can see it being a little bit of a problem because I think, actually, no, I take that back because he's been fighting at 130 for a minute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a lot of those guys are smaller, coming up from a smaller division. So he's seen these type of fighters before. But going up to a heavier weight with a guy that throws wild hooks but controlled, and you don't see him there, dangerous. That's what I was thinking, and I think that he can get clipped or he can do the clipping. If he stays in the pocket underneath and smothers Pitbull and able to block and parry shots, then it's his party. You know what I mean? He can cry if he wants to at the end of the day. And I think he has an opportunity to do so. He showed me that he could. You know what I mean? He's fought a lot of similar fighters at 130. You know what I mean? That come with the high guard and just throw overhand right. So why not? Why can't he beat a Pitbull Cruz? And Pitbull Cruz, on the other hand, is very, very crafty and sneaky. I like to use the word, I would say devilish, but I don't want to use devilish. I want to say like a fox, sly. He's slick. You know what I mean? He likes to get you thinking one way, and then he sets you up with something else. And that makes the fight interesting, Clay. That makes the fight super interesting and makes it unpredictable at the moment. I still think that Roach has a chance, and it's a good fight, man. Let him do it. You know what I mean?
I think Roach has more than a chance. You know, we're seeing a lot of these fighters, and I think this is something that people are questioning as far as the Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. fight is concerned, to say that, all right, a lot of these fighters, man, have been really doing this whole weight bullying thing, quote unquote, however you want to look at it, cutting all this weight, and it's been taking a lot off their pop, it's been taking a lot off their conditioning, it's been taking a lot off their punch resistance, and we've seen what's been happening in these fights based on these scenarios. So there's an argument there to say that Lamont Roach Jr. might find himself in his, as my mother would say in Creole, I'll say it in Creole right quick. You guys ain't gonna understand. I'll translate it. But she says, "No bowl Gressley," which means in his bowl of grease, right? That the not having to, like what we're talking about with Terrence, cut the weight is going to allow him to be a stronger fight, able to take punches better, and also able to deliver some power behind his shots. And I think his counter punching and his ability to punch in between punches and get that timing down with a fighter like Cruz, who's coming at one pace, he can get that rhythm down and process that data inside of 3 rounds. I can see Lamont Roach completely dialing into whatever Cruz is bringing to the table and being able to counterpunch him to death, catch him in the middle of his shots. I think he could do a way better job against Cruz than Rayo did, right? Like Rayo was able to move around and carry out that strategy that Robert Garcia put out there for him. I think Lamont Roach has the ability to do that in spades. I think his IQ is just there. The question is whether or not the power will translate or not, but also let's speak to the elephant in the room. Cruz is really a 135-pound fighter, maybe even a 130-pound fighter who's challenging himself at these bigger weight classes. He just happens to have the power that translates through weight classes, right, that allows him to compete in these spaces, right? But in reality, he's a small 140-pound fighter, right? This is a great fight for Lamont Roach to be involved in, to fight somebody like Cruz, who's one of the smaller 140-pound fighters, but also carries with him some jewelry, carries with him that interim WBC title. This right here just happens to be the stars aligning perfectly, I think, for Lamont Roach to do something special in that weight, to acclimate, get that potential free fight. This might be one of the best fights he can get involved in, and then holding that interim title puts him right there to get the winner of either Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, or the winner of Alberto Puello and whoever the winner of Dalton Smith, Subriel Matias is, to get an opportunity at a WBC title. Also kind of gives him a little leverage and maybe inviting Shakur Stevenson up to 140, right? To make that fight happen there. What do you think about that?
Good point. I didn't even cross that thought in my mind, Clay. That's actually funny, because if you get that WBC interim, or even gets a chance to fight Matias for the WBC title, and he wins, that is the perfect marination of bringing Shakur up, especially if he fights Tio and they make that fight up there. It makes all the sense in the world. And I think that that drive, again, we keep driving boxing, right? We keep pushing boxing to the place that it needs to be, and we're talking about it. And this is what big fights are made of. People challenging themselves, people doing what they need to do to be great. You know what I mean? Pushing that button. And we have a lot of people that don't push the button. And I think now that we're seeing all these young fighters, or all these fighters currently starting to follow a trend of like, look, we need to get in where we fit in, because all this, you know what I mean? Let's be clean. Let's be this. Let's be nice. Let's be undefeated, and all that is going out the window, man. You got to challenge yourselves. You got to push these, like I said, you got to push these envelopes through, because if you don't, it's gonna hurt the sport. And I think this is helping American boxing all the way. It's definitely bringing something where it needs to be.
Yeah, salute to everybody in the building. We got a little over 40 people in the building. If you haven't, please remember to hit that like button. Thank you in advance. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that. Yeah, I like the idea of this Lamont Roach Isaac Cruz fight. You know, there was rumors going on about Gabriel Flores potentially being a fight, or maybe him and Shakur Stevenson, or him and Richardson Hitchens, which we're going to talk about in a minute as well, because Hitchens has decisions to make. He has some real decisions to make very soon. But that being said, staying dialed in and focus on what's on the table as far as Lamont Roach and Isaac Cruz is concerned. This is a great opportunity. I love this fight, man. I love this fight, man. I think it's just perfect, you know what I mean? And just an easier fight for Lamont Roach to make weight for, and ultimately a great. I think he comes out on the other side of this fight a better fighter, just because of the actual dance partner that Isaac Cruz is. And on the back end of a victory against Isaac Cruz, he's timing himself right in the perfect spot. December, boom. Shakur's probably going to fight either Teofimo. More than likely, it looks like there's a fight that's going to actually happen. So if that fight happens for him with Teofimo on the back end of that fight, let's be honest, he could be collecting. If he wins, he collects that WBO title right at 140. Boom, he can jump into a Lamont Roach fight if Lamont Roach could do his job, and there could be a unification. Shakur Stevenson could become a four-weight class champion, 2-weight class unified champion. There's all kinds of things that could come up on the back end of everybody doing their job and all the stars aligning in the right way, right? Shakur only wants to fight twice a year because of those hands, right? Salute to my brother Angelo Reyes in the building. Hit that link. Everybody salute Angelo Reyes. Pop Shot Talk in the building with the $5 holla. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you, Pop Shot, for supporting the channel that way today. You guys don't leave him by himself. He's all by himself back here supporting the channel. Don't be scared to put some color in the chat. Pop Shop says, I got Cruz in that fight. Wow, I don't think Roach gonna come in with the same hunger or smoke he had for Tank. Word. Even Tank with great feet had a problem with Isaac. Ouch, man. Look, I ain't mad at you. Isaac does present some issues, some equations or some mathematical, equations that Lamont Roach is gonna have to figure out. But I got faith in Lamont. I think Lamont got the IQ to figure it out. The question is, does he have the power to get that respect? Not too many fighters have been able to do it, right? Only Ryo and Tank has been able to do that. But look, man, he just ran it with Tank for 12 rounds and arguably beat him. Look, man, this fight right here is a statement maker, big statement maker for Lamont Roach, or an opportunity to make a big statement. How you doing, Ray? Angelo, how you doing, man?
Feeling pretty good. Takes me a little bit of time to get up, as you know, with the transplant stuff. But I was listening, and okay. I gotta just nail you for a second, Clay.
Pause.
I don't know if the Isaac Cruz Roach fight is official. I know they're talking about it. Maybe
no, I didn't say it's official. It's in negotiations. It's definitely in negotiations, so it's not official at all.
What is official is Naoya Inoue versus MJ, and I haven't heard you say a damn word about it for the last 3 days, man.
I don't know. I think Ray brought it up, right? Ray brought it up. I said it earlier today, though. I did say it. I said the day after. Yeah, okay. I said it earlier. But I haven't done it all the way, though, for sure. I haven't done it all the way. That's for sure. I haven't dived into that fight.
So here's a question for you guys. Let's say Canelo, for just the sake of argument, because we're all rocking with Crawford. I'm just waiting for the damn. I just saw the odds. The odds at best that I found is plus 140 for Crawford, which is crap. I'm waiting.
I got the
plus and then because you're obviously Crawford's the underdog, but I'm waiting for how high plus money can get. The best thing I found was Crawford by knockout on any round for plus 900. So if you put 100 in, you get 1,000 back. I mean, that's not bad. You have to really believe that Crawford will do it. Now, again, I heard you guys talking earlier, and he looks good, man. He looks amazing. I got some emails from people out of the countries telling it to me, like, damn, Crawford looks really good. And I was like, yeah, we'll see, man. I just, guys, I don't like to believe in hype just because I don't know what I don't know. And I haven't seen Canelo ever even been hurt by all these people. Could Crawford do it? Maybe. I hope so. it's worth it to put $10 on plus 900 because you get 100 back, right? But I don't know. The knockout though, which surprised me, the knockout for Canelo to knock out Crawford was plus 400. So they're willing to give you 4-1 odds, and that one I'm kind of like, there might be a lot of people swinging Canelo's way to start betting, which will help the betting pool to get to, if it finally gets to plus close to plus 300 for Crawford, I'm putting money in there. But what did you guys think of this? The under for it not to go past 10.5 is plus 320.
For it not to?
For it to be end one way or the other, but it's got to be before 10.5 rounds. It's plus 320. Is that a good bet?
I think
this shit might go.
That's a good bet.
This might be a knockout, right? But then with the reason why I trip out when I see things like that in Vegas is I go, is there something going on where the Vegas odds makers already know that this will go decision? You know what I mean?
I mean, look, the politics of the sport is always so above my pay grade. I'm never surprised at anything, right? So I think there's a lot of feinting going on when it comes to the way they make these odds. There's a lot of feinting and trying to push the algorithm move a certain way to get people to put in as much money as they can. Obviously, the more money out there, the more possibilities and opportunities for Vegas to make money. So they're going to put these things out there and make them very tempting one way or the other. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What I hope is at the end of the day, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are involved in those politics, and I hope that they fight the dog shit out of each other Saturday night, and each one of them will go in there trying to win the fight, stop each other, and all the above. And if they can, take it out the hands of the judges, and definitely take it out the hand of Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it would definitely help. But for the sake of argument, Ray, let's say Canelo somehow pulls it off, beats it. He's the favorite or whatever. He pulls it off. Is Naoya Inoue number 1 pound for pound in your eyes, or will it still be Usyk? Because he's number 2 right now. Usyk's number 1. But Usyk beats MJ, who's the best opponent, right? Canelo beats Crawford, so now Crawford has to drop from number 3 to somewhere else. Canelo will move up from number 8 to probably number 4 at best.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you put Inoue, man? Is Inoue still sticking at 2 or?
He's at 2.
Yeah, I think Inoue comfortably. I think the way I look at that pound for pound thing, I just say those guys are 3. Top 3, right? However you want to put it, whatever your reasons are, because I know with Terence Crawford, it's an activity thing, right? Like, it's like, man, bro, you're just not active enough, bro. I just can't put you at number 1. I have Terence Crawford as my number 1, but I mean, clearly I'm probably a little biased in it. I support Terence that way. I think he's number 1. Alexander Usyk, I think, is comfortably a number 2 or number 1. Because clearly I give him respect. I know they don't like to put the heavyweights in the pound for pound conversation, but I think we have to acknowledge that he did come up from cruiserweight and he unified and became undisputed at the cruiserweight, then went up to heavyweight. That's multiple weight classes last time I checked. So I can definitely have him in a pound for pound conversation. And Monster Inoue, he's there, man. He's number 3, number 2, however you want to look at it, or number 1, however you want to look at it. I don't know. I just think he has a lot. For me, with Monster Inoue, there's a lot more to do. Not to say that he needs to do it, but I see there's so much more for him to do. And if he's not 1 now, he'll be 1 later. If he can get up into 126 and make those big fights happen, at least 2 of those fights happen, and knowing that integrity that country comes in with this boxing and this legacy, I can see him going for it all, trying to become undisputed in 3 weight classes. It's going to be hard. He'll be undeniable. You know what I mean? At that point. But I mean, there's arguments for all those dudes to be at number 1, man. There's just legitimate arguments for all of them to be at number 1. And if you're a supporter of Monster, I'm sure you could sit there here for 30, 40 minutes and be like, he did. You could break it down and give him and have everybody, he'd be like, damn, maybe he is number 1. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are all just generational, era-defining fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't do that today. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to challenge Shelton with his blasphemy comments about Inoue being overrated. So, but I can't. Ray, I could have sat here for the next 40 minutes and convince this group that here's all of Inoue's accomplishments and why he's even considered number 2 globally speaking.
I mean, he moved through the divisions very quickly, and he's captured undisputed twice. I mean, why can't he be up there? He's possibly a number 1. I think he's 2 no matter what. If Bud wins, Bud's 1. I think Usyk's the one that takes the turn. Basically, I think Inoue stays where he's at. Reason why I say that is because Usyk was a cruiserweight anyway. Anyway, that's funny, right? Sounds like Inoue, but Usyk was a cruiserweight. And him moving up to heavyweight, yes, he still dominated, and he beat the top 5 guys that we had at that point. Sorry, phone call came in. He beat a lot of these guys, right? And him beating a lot of these the top 5 or top guys at the division, not once but twice, most of them, right? Only the person he hasn't fought was Wilder and Joseph Parker and couple more. I mean, then you got a couple young guys about to move into the picture. But as far as the guys that were known for the division, he's beat them all. Twice. Right. So why would I take him out of the top 3, top 2, as Clay said? You know what I mean? Right. It's hard until somebody shows me different. He's right there.
Right. You know? Right. And again, I think that this is where Clay mentioned this in, I think, closer to the beginning of the show about just our sport is on fire, and you guys kind of talked about it, right? Boxing is on fire, but again, if you're an NFL fan, you could rock with your team, whether it's the Jets or the Steelers, but unless you're actually paying attention to the entire NFL, which, by the way, is extremely accessible to everyone. You could go watch NFL Network. There's YouTubes about it every day. If you really, it's so accessible. Boxing's the other way around. So when people say Inoue is overrated, well, how many of his fights have you ever watched? How well do you even know the 108-pound division, the 115-pound division, the 118-pound division? And if you don't know, then you can't say that shit. You just have to shut the fuck up and just let the experts actually give it to you, and then you could be objective after looking at what pundits and journalists have given you, right? This is why we defend Crawford so much when we talk about Crawford, because he wasn't accessible. If Crawford was accessible to everyone, right, he'd be the most famous fighter right now, even over Canelo. The fact that he's American, the fact that he's from Omaha, Nebraska, the fact that he ain't ever gone to jail or had a drug controversy or any of that, like, he would be super famous. But because boxing keeps you inaccessible to the average fan, unlike the NFL, it's easy to pick apart someone that you don't know. It's easy to pick apart a division that you don't know. Not because of you necessarily, but because I don't know how much time you have in a day to try to figure out the rabbit holes of how to get into each division and each stuff. So yeah, man, no, I appreciate what you guys were saying earlier about how boxing is in a great space. And just like Clay said, what the fuck do you want? You're going to get Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson if you don't support what we have right now. What we've had the last 24 months is best fighting the best.
Right. That's the alternative, right, Angelo? At the end of the day, it's like, all right, well, if it ain't September 13th, then it's October 10th versus Jake Paul. Make up your mind what you want. Salute to my guy, well-connected, Dub in the building, Dub. I seen you at the event last night. How was that event last night in D.C.? Just in the building, because it looked from the comfort of my bed, sitting next to my wife, it looked great. You know what I mean? But being in that building, I thought Pro Box had a great card last night. Am I bugging, Dub?
Nah, it was nice. It definitely was nice, especially if you a hardcore boxing fan and you knew the fighters that was fighting yesterday. Then yeah, you probably really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know a lot of those fighters, but I know them now, right? Like, that's the kind of card it was. It was the kind of card that put a lot of fighters on my, you know what I mean? Like, oh damn, I need to dial in and see about this guy and see about this guy. There was just so many fighters last night who showed up and showed out. Was that mainly a DC card? I know it was in DC, but that was Lamont Roach Sr.'s promotion, right?
Yeah, it was a joint promotion, No Excuse, which is Lamont Roach promotion company, and Pro Box.
Nice. Okay. So was it mostly like DC fighters fighting on that card, or was it fighters from everywhere?
Yeah, it was DMV fighters. Yeah, each fight except one was a DMV fighter.
Yeah.
Yesterday, one of the biggest prospects out from down here lost yesterday. He was the main
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. He got comfortable, man. That's what those big tests is good. Rene Gueron is he is a great gatekeeper, or like he's a good test for anybody to fight against. Like he's not the guy who I'm looking at to become like champion or anything, but he's that litmus test. The way he fights, because he got, what was that guy's name again last night, by the way, the main event? What was his name?
White.
Jordan White.
Jordan
White. He got to that body. Rene got to that body very early, and it looked like it caught him off guard. By like round 2, round 3, he was up in there like, damn, bro. Like he was reacting to that body, man. And what a test, what a litmus test. I think Jordan White looked good. Like he had his moments in the last round, a couple of rounds where he turned up, where he got motivated. All of a sudden, he came out and he started letting his hands go. But Rene already had hurt him to the body in that second or third round. I remember which round it was. So Rene was always able to kind of go there and get him back down to earth. Like, yeah, all right, bro.
Yeah,
that body.
And he dropped him. He dropped him too.
But they didn't count it.
No, they did count it. When he dropped Jordan White.
Jordan White, I thought that count. I thought it didn't count. They counted
Nah,
it.
when he hit him with the when Jordan White was backing up and he hit him with a hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They didn't count the other. They ain't count the other knockdown.
Right.
They counted that knockdown though.
Good morning, Rachel. Salute, Queen. That's my girl right there, man. Always good to see you in the building. L Dub, salute. L Dub, the boxing plug in the building. Salute.
You know what's crazy? So the dude that fought as the main event, right? One of his coaches came to Enigma, which is great restaurant gym, and called Gurry out. He wanted Jordan White to fight Gary Russell Jr. And Gary kept saying, man, he was telling him last week that he didn't want to do that to him, but he want to see how he looked after this fight, and then he wound up losing.
Crazy, right? Crazy, man. That's one thing though about good matchmaking. I thought that's something we saw last night was good matchmaking. There were good fights in the ring. You know what I'm saying? There was another upset a little earlier as well. The Cardenas, whatever his first name was, versus who was it, man? I should have wrote all these names down last night, but it was an upset. He ended up knocking him out.
Oh,
can I just add on to this real quick too? So I haven't seen it yet. I will be watching it today, right? But this is my point, Clay. You guys are talking about how amazing those fights are. That pro box fight is accessible if you knew about it, right? Everybody last night though was watching the NFL on YouTube, right? Right. Everybody was watching Chargers versus, and that's what I mean is that there was a space in the U.S. back in the 80s where everybody would have been watching, or a good amount of people would have been watching pro box. You would have had at least I don't know, a million people would have at least tuned into pro box while everybody else tuned into something else. So we need to do better. And I think it shows like yours, Clay, where we're telling everyone about it, right? So everyone who missed pro box, now please go back to pro box, like what I'm going to do, and go rewatch it so you can see these stars. You can see these American fighters. You can see these people coming up. That's very important for the culture, so that we know who's coming up. And then I want to give a shout out to my guy, L Dub, too, because he's always tuning me into everything, man. He's always sending me stuff. And if you can please, L Dub, talk to Turkey for me and tell him I'm very upset that he didn't do anything for September 12th, bro. He promised me and Clay a 3-day event, and all he gave us is 10 fights on one day.
Hey, look, for the chat too, for the chat and for the chat and for the panel who don't know, y'all gotta get hip to Ben Johnson. In 3 years, he's gonna be a world champion. Mark my words.
Before that, I think. But
I'm gonna say 3 years because this. So if you count this year, you only got 5 fights.
Yeah.
He got 5 fights. So I say 3 years.
You think how many fights you fight a year?
Huh?
Actually, I'll go check. I'll
So
go
he
look
just
it up.
he just so he been fighting. He been pro. He went pro last year.
So okay, so he
So
might get
he
another
got
one in
5,
2
but
years.
you
Though.
gotta look at it too. It slows. So you can't go by the rate they start at because it starts slowing down. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
starts
yeah.
slowing down. But he definitely. I think right now Ben Johnson can be Mario Bios.
Oh hell yeah. Oh oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, bro. If he wasn't sitting there like too comfortable with his hands down, like not really playing defense because he didn't believe in that guy's power, and he fought him, he would have got him out of there early. But the fact that he let that guy stay in the fight made more of it. But he was beating, he was getting that guy, bro. He's got good skills. He's got footwork, IQ, everything is there. You can see it. I mean, you could
when,
definitely see it.
when he
Ben
first turned
Johnson.
pro,
And
I told Clay, I was telling Clay about him. When he first turned pro, I was like,
Karen Kukajan versus Ben Johnson, that was funny.
who?
Karen Kukajan. That would be a good fight, but I think that's a little too much for him at the moment.
Kuka John?
Yeah, Karen Kukajan.
Oh, Kern.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Kern. Cause why always pronounce like it's I forgot to pronounce
Kukajan.
it.
We don't know how to say his name. We always mess it up. We say it 5 different ways.
It's Kern Kazazian or some shit. I forgot to pronounce it. I used to know how to pronounce it though.
Karen
But he said
Kukajan.
nah, Kern part is like Kern got like experience.
Yeah.
I know if he sit in that pocket and try to bang with Shorty, I don't know.
Yeah. But Clay, you were talking about Luis Torres, Venezuela versus Cardona.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah, that was the fight you were talking about. I wanted to jump in, but I didn't want to interrupt nobody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Doug, the dude's a star, bro, and I don't see him. I mean, he's at welterweight because somebody, I think, Prophet Literal Pharaoh asked him what division. He's welterweight right now, but is he really 6 foot?
Who?
Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6'1".
6'1" at a welterweight. Yo, he moving up. He's gonna be at 160 soon.
Ben 6'1".
So, he making look good right now. So he's a force.
I asked his father, both his coaches is his father and Lamont Senior.
Yeah.
So I asked him, what I'm saying, how long they think he'll be at welterweight, and both of them was like, man, he make weight conscious. They gotta, they already like, some people once they like start getting later on in their career, they start getting a chef and getting a, what
A nutritionist.
Yeah, nutritionist and a chef and all that. But they gym already has that. You know what I'm saying? They already got a couple of chefs and nutritionists.
Yeah.
So they make weight like, they already know like ahead of time where they gotta be at. So he said he make weight comfortably though. But man, baby looking big. You gotta see her in person. Like what? I be like, I remember when we was at the in New York, March 1st for Tank and Lamont fight and Twan and Rios. And me and him was together mostly the whole time. And Jaden Daniels' mother walked up to her. We didn't know who she was though, right? So she walked up to her. So she asked Ben, she's like, "Can I get a picture with you?" She's like, "You my favorite fighter." So he was like, "You know who I am?" She was like, "Yeah, you're Ben Johnson. Should I watch you fight out Florida?" So he was like, "All right." So then when she about to leave, she was like, "Yeah, I'm supporting you. I want you to support my son." So he was like, "Who your son?" And that's when her friend was like, "Jaden Daniels." And that's when she opened her jacket or whatever, and she had like the jersey. It's like a jersey. I don't know, like a jersey dress, I guess.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels on there, whatever, and they took a picture.
But yeah, he's definitely a star in the making, man. And I would give him, like, it's hard to say this, and if I put him in a championship fight with probably I think he gives Norman a run for his money. I think you know what I mean. I think he definitely decimates Rolly. I think he decimates
I forgot Broly champion.
He decimates Barrios. And that's me being honest. I think he gives him good run. I think he gives Brian Norman a good run because he's young and inexperienced. But I think once he gets his feet under him, once he gets his you know what I mean, his couple of fights in, and he's adjusted and he starts getting some competition, and he fights the same way because he's only going to get better, right, with the competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's unstoppable, especially at his size, bro. I was like, yo, this dude's 6 foot. They have him listed at 6 foot. I was like, yo, the opponent was bigger than him. He was like 6'2". The guy I don't forgot his name, but
yeah, he just turned 20 years old.
That's what I'm saying. It's nothing but uphill for him unless he gets the H2O treatment. He catch somebody like Body. He ain't, you know what I mean, he winning and just sleep on the person. You know what I mean? That's the only way. But other than that, I think he's got nothing but high expectations in my book. And he's the truth, bro. He's definitely the next generation star. And 154 needs him. I'm going to tell you right now. I was looking. I was like, yo, he needs to be at 154. He will stare. Clay, what you say? Stare the pot? That bro gonna stare the pot.
Wait, I ain't gonna lie. I was in the middle of some text messaging nonsense. Which fight are we talking about right now?
We're talking about.
We're talking about Ben Johnson.
I'm keeping it 100. Man. I'll catch up. Oh, Ben. Oh, yeah. But Ben looks like he's ready. You probably already talked about it, but yeah, he definitely looks like he's about ready to go to 154. Now, I mean, not right now. He can compete at 147, but what is he, 5-0 now?
Right.
You got to think like what by the time he hits like 10 professional fights, depending how active they can keep him, he's probably going to outgrow. He's 20 years old. He's already like 6 foot something. He looked great last night, though, man. I really like what I saw. I love the poise. The poise was amazing.
Beating him there either. Maybe I think him at 154.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you guys? Though.
Go ahead, Angel.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys this question because of the climate that the amateurs have changed? Is Ben Johnson the type of fighter that can go back and forth from being a pro and then also trying the Olympics and then going back to pro? Because that's what a few of these guys did, like Bakadir Jalalov. That's how he won 2 gold medals as a heavyweight. But he's also like, I don't know, like 15-0 as a pro already or something like that because he just kept going back and forth. Is Ben Johnson going to do something like that? Do you know?
You got to ask Dub. He would know that.
Nah. He lost in the Olympic trials. He lost in the Olympic trials or whatever. But he always said that even then he said that he had a pro style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one thing he ain't like, me and him, like we had. I told you the whole March 1st we was together like that whole week. Me and him, whatever. He was saying though one thing he ain't like about the Olympics is that a fighter might not even be good, but if he go in and just throw a whole lot of punches, whatever, sometimes they give him the edge. He'll get points and stuff just throwing a bunch of punches. And he ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the
the judging, I agree. I can see what he's saying on that. They like, for example, that Williams Zepeda Shakur Stevenson fight. They would have gave Williams Zepeda a lot of rounds in that fight based off the way he was that volume punching he was doing.
And he brought up Xander's eyes. I think it's Xander's eyes. Because you know, all them the same class, all them around the same class. Xander's eyes, Ben Johnson, Jamal Harvey, Omari Jones, all of them, like, you know what I'm saying, around that same, they all came with amateurs together. And he was saying, hey, what's Keyshawn little brother?
Keon,
yeah. You know, now Ben Johnson and Keon got a little they fought, I think they fought like 3-4 times in the amateurs or whatever.
Can I ask you this? Do you think Ben Johnson would be the type of kid that would be someone that could flourish well if Eddie Hearn signed him? You know, the same way some of these American fighters got activity.
Yeah, I think Eddie gonna try to protect him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He probably like he gonna probably move him. He probably move a little bit slower if he go. I think if anything, I think Top Rank when it comes to like top prospects or whatever. I think Top Rank get them like. Now, he might not get them more money than Eddie, but they get them, you know what I'm saying, championship fights quicker than Eddie. I think Top Rank gets them like title shots quicker.
Really?
So,
Wow.
what do you
Wow.
think? I like that
Just
question.
look at it. Just look at the last the top 5. Look at the top ranked last top prospects, and look at how quick they got it built. We can go from. You said really? I'm surprised you ain't know that. Look at Shakur. We can go from Shakur. We can go to Keyshawn. We can go to Lomachenko. We like all them dudes. Even T.O. got a title
like
shot.
16-0 or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's 15. It's 15 and 0. 15 fight or 15 and 0. He fought Lomachenko. His 15th fight. But look at Keyshawn. Look at Keyshawn. Look at Shakur. Shakur won them over.
14.
What? 13?
14 fight.
14 fight. All right. 14 fight. Keyshawn did it in what?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. Keyshawn did it 15. Shakur did it in 14. You said 14, right?
Yeah.
Lomachenko did it in 4.
Right.
Lomachenko already fought for his second fight. He fought for a title eliminator.
Yeah.
His second fight, and he lost. Turned right back around and got a title shot. His 4th fight.
Right.
Like Top Rank, when it comes to getting title shots, we ain't saying more money, but title shots, Top Rank moves them real fast. Like they put them in position. They be playing with the rankings and all that, playing with the rankings and stuff. They be getting quick title shots with.
Yeah,
I think like prime example. I think if Jaleel would have signed with Top Rank, Jaleel would have got a title shot or on his way to a title shot by now. But because he signed with Mayweather and went the Mayweather route, and then
with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, Jaleel was a top prospect. He was one of in his class. He's like one of the top 5 prospects.
Here's a controversial question for you, because Ben Johnson is so young, and because we know what his ceiling could be. With Zuffa Boxing coming out, man, would he consider signing with Dana White and being a part of that whole American push for 2026?
Good question.
Oh, you're gonna go with his team. They loyal, so no excuse. One thing about they fighters, you're not gonna see a no excuse fighter like leave no excuse and go to PBC or go to, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about their team. Like if anything he do is gonna be like probably a joint deal. Other than since they did that deal with Oscar, when they did that joint deal with Oscar,
Yeah.
the Golden Boy, I don't think they're gonna do that again. I think now it's more so, they might do a joint promotion. A joint network deal, but I don't think they're gonna do nothing with like none of the promoters. Because if that was the case, Lamont got deals and he shot them down. You know what I'm saying? And he said it. He said it on, I want to say Art of War, one of them. All the Smoke. I can call him. Is it Art of War or All the Smoke? The Andre Ward.
I think it's Art of Ward. WARD.
Is it Art of Ward? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it confusing because it's on the All the Smoke YouTube? Is that what?
Yeah. I didn't know it was all, because when they interview some fighters, it'd be All the Smoke, but then sometimes it'd be the Art of War. So because when the black dude and the Spanish dude, when they interview people, sometimes it be All the Smoke. So if you look at the interviews, someone say All the Smoke, someone say Art of War.
Yeah.
So
I think Andre Ward is definitely working on, his brand is big enough to where, unless they're offering him a good amount of money and making it make sense, I wouldn't be shocked to see him just be Art of Ward. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of go in his own direction. He has a whole different energy in the space when it comes to that, especially now in the back end of him getting to call this fight, calling that card on September 13th. His stock is just going to go up as far as, that's crazy to say because it's already up there, but it's going to go that much further.
What do y'all think about Andre Ward talking about he'd come back and fight Anthony Joshua.
I think Andre, I'm gonna be real with you, the kind of person who I am, I think this space grabs information and runs with it, and I mean literally runs with it. When Andre Ward said that, I don't think he was challenging Anthony Joshua. I think he was just giving a scenario of magnitude of an event that would pull him back to the sport if he were to come back. I don't think it was more than that. You know what I mean? I think he's just been confronted so much with the, yo, everybody come back. Why don't you come back? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And I think people kind of wanted to see him low-key come back and beat up Jake Paul. Or see Jake Paul take the fight with him, and being that didn't manifest, it was still bothering him probably in his social media. And I think he just answered it in the most honest way to say, listen, it's not that I wouldn't come back. It's just that it would have to make sense. The magnitude of the challenge would have to do something for me. Like, for example, you know, maybe an Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? I think he was just dropping it like that. And I think the space, oh, no, Anthony Joshua and Andre Ward, they in negotiations. You know what I mean? I think they just pushed. I think he just ran with it. I don't think it was that serious.
I think it initially came from though when Pacquiao and Bios fought. They was in all of them was in like in the you know when you first come to Interim Grand with a ring at in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he was right there with Andre Berto. It was him, Andre Berto.
Probably Andre Durrell.
It was a couple fighters. I know Andre Berto was right there. And he was out there yelling, like, bring Anthony Joshua. He want Anthony Joshua.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, he was yelling. I thought I told you that, Claymore. I told you when I was out there.
All right, Mike. Well, to your question then, my take on it was, and Clay put on a very good perspective that maybe Andre Ward was doing it tongue-in-cheek. Maybe he wasn't real. But from what you're saying, maybe it is real. And,
right.
I believe I made this point, I think it was on your show, Clay, where I don't like it that Andre Ward did that, because when he left the sport, he found himself in a good wave, a good channel of everybody just respecting him. And that's great. You're out, you're undefeated, even though you got away with a couple, you know, that's fine, you know, and it's all good, right? The minute he opened that up, and anytime you open yourself up like that, now you're open to criticism. And I think it was on Clay's show, maybe. I don't remember. People started attacking me because I'm like, look, man, I could split Andre Ward's entire career down and actually make you an argument that he never even makes my top 25. Because, you know, like, right? Because that's the type of shit that can open it up again. Is like, leave it all alone. We already liked you. We already had you way up there. The minute you open this up, questions like, well, why'd you retire so young then? You didn't want no smoke from Benavidez and Beterbiev when they were coming up, right? Why is it that you only really won the Super Six? You didn't do nothing else after the Super Six, right? Like you see what I mean? Like it's easy to. That's why I didn't like him saying it, because so many people already respected him, including me. I already respected him. I was like, dude, leave it alone. You're not just be an analyst. Be cool. And everybody knows AJ. As much as you respect him, you don't respect AJ. Whatever. He's a heavyweight. Ray loves him so much that Ray believes that AJ would beat Foreman. I don't know where that came from, but so there's no world where Andre Ward wouldn't get spanked by AJ.
Who said they believe that?
It was Ray, man. Go look at Ray.
Who said Anthony Joshua would beat George Foreman?
Ray said Anthony Joshua would beat George Foreman.
Well, hold on. Before he gets specific with it, he left out some details. We were talking about different eras of the fighters at certain points in their careers. That's what it was. I was very specific and said early on AJ that went in there and beat Klitschko, he would give Foreman a run for his money and beat him. That 40-plus-year-old Foreman, not Foreman.
Oh, okay. All right, the 40-plus
Foreman. Yeah, not young Foreman.
Oh,
okay. Even still, though, well connected. The old Foreman who beat Michael Moore, who was only 27.
Hold up. But let me say this too, because everybody keep talking about did y'all actually see? That's not. I actually watched that fight, that whole fight. Like, I watched that fight. I ain't gonna see the highlights, so I knew the impact of that fight, right? George Foreman was really losing that fight, like badly. Even if Michael Moore would have gave him them 2 rounds, he would have lost that fight.
Yeah, if he would have just made it.
He was losing that fight.
We saw what we saw, brother. We saw what
when
we
he
saw.
hit him with them. When he hit him with them 2 joints down the pipe, like everybody that's watching the fight, it's like everybody's been silent.
No, that's how I felt. I watched it while it was happening. I remember I was real young and it was like it came out of nowhere. It almost looked like there was arguments in my crib because I was a young bull at the time, but my uncles and everybody was just like, "Yo, did he throw that fight?" Like people was like, "What happened?" I don't understand. Like,
it was crazy. Like it was crazy.
Right.
Everybody just was stuck when he hit him with because everybody was looking for Michael Moore and Holyfield rematch.
Right.
And for Holyfield, Michael Moore 2. Wasn't nobody thinking George Foreman was about to beat that man. So towards the end of the fight, everybody was like already like, we already knew what it was gonna be. And he hit him with them 2 joints down the pipe. It's like everybody got stuck.
Like it's one thing for him to go down for it to be like that.
He on his back just looking at the ref. Everybody looking like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Like, is he throwing the fight? Get up, bro. I know he hit you, but it can't be that serious.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Let me shout out.
Yeah, I thought he threw the fight too. I said, man, and around that time too, remember all the articles was coming out about sports players throwing fights for the mob and all that stuff was going on. It was really football though. It was a lot dealing with football.
And Teddy Atlas was involved in that fight too. So anyway. That being said, right? Shout out to Carlos Dixon right quick with the $10, man. I appreciate the love, man. Says, what's good, Clay? Appreciate you. I appreciate you, family. Thank you, man. We dialing in to do this in a different way. I made some moves. And like I said, I'm gonna call you later, Dub. You know what I mean? Talk to you specifically. But yeah, man, we gonna focus in and make this podcast what it's supposed to be, make this channel what it's supposed to be, bro. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do. I'm betting on me. I gambled a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm betting on some things, but yeah, bro, it's gonna be we're gonna be way more active, man. Shout out to Pop Shop Talk with the support, man, with the color in the chat, man. I appreciate you, family. Says Foreman took the fight because he was going off his punches chance, his chin and power. AJ's chin is his downfall this point in his career. I don't think AJ's chin is that suspect. I think you guys be I don't know. I think that jacket is diabolical on AJ, man. I think you guys just saw him get stopped by Daniel Dubois and get put down by Andy Ruiz, and all of a sudden I seen him.
He got put down by too, man. Come on, stop it. That's a whole different. It's a whole different show. It's gonna be a whole different show with a different title.
So can I say this
again? What's the name like that too? Big Baby. That's why that's why I used to always compare with Big Baby, Jared Anderson, and Anthony Joshua. For some reason, I just used to always compare them like they had a similar style or something. Y'all don't see it?
Nope. But let me tell you this. I don't. I'm gonna tell you this. Yes. Luis put him down, and Klitschko put him down. Klitschko put him down, and he got up and won the fight. He didn't look like he was shook, hurt, or anything. Maybe that broke his chin, whatever the case may be. Maybe it was a shot from Ruiz. But Ruiz caught him when he wasn't expecting. We all know, and Dub will speak on it, Clay will speak on it, and you know this too, Angelo. The fight that the punch you don't see is the one that hurts you the most.
Right.
And that shot he did not see. He was beating that man until, remember, he had to knock down the 3rd round. So he was
now you the boys though,
right?
What about that?
And when that's what I'm saying. I think his chin was already cracked at that point once he got to the boys. When Ruiz clocked him, I think that hurt him so bad that because he didn't see it coming. Put him down. He got back up and got dropped again. Why did that happen? Because the fact that he didn't see it coming, and it was a poor defense mechanism on him, and it shattered his jaw. Then what happens? He gets to the later fights after that. You start seeing some weaknesses to him. I mean, we thought he was better because he fought Usyk and lasted both fights with Usyk. Didn't get, didn't get hurt and rattled. Yeah, he got beat up, but he didn't get like shocker. But then he gets in there with Daniel Dubois, and you see what happens. He gets slobber knocked, and it looked like his jaw was broke, like from the Ruiz fight. So it's safe to say that
in the Usyk fight, though, the first fight. He was favorite in the first. He was favorite in the first.
Yeah, he was. That's what I'm saying, and it looked like he was back, but Bro, it is what it is. Andy Ruiz landed the shot from hell that he never seen coming. And I'm telling you, if he kept it on the outside with Andy Ruiz, he beats him. He would have beat him. But the fact that he went in there and tried to slug it out because he thought he had his number because of that knockdown.
He let that Madison Square Garden energy get to him too.
Right.
That debut in New York.
Exactly.
That really got to him. And being that Andy Ruiz was a late replacement. Yeah, once again, we talked about it earlier, Ray. Moments also make fights.
Right.
And that was just a moment I think that just got to Anthony Joshua as a debut in America, and what happened with Jarrell Miller with the PEDs, and and I think there was also a little bit of conversation of potentially Deontay Wilder being close to being made at that point. So he was making his debut on a world level. This is the one box he didn't have checked was America, right? So he's like, I'm coming here to make this statement. I think he participated in the shenanigans a little too much, and he got caught up for that, man. Salute to CJ Rich Boxing showing love, man. I appreciate it, man. With the $5 high on the building says Foreman showed us how to overcome midlife crisis. Never stop training. Hey, shout out.
Hey, CJ.
Yeah,
CJ.
I'm only
man.
Hey. I'm only 30 years old, bro.
hey guys, so Clay, I gotta get going. I do want to say one last thing to throw at the panel, and then we'll talk later, Clay, because I got some life updates for you too. I'll call you too, right, on what's going on with my stuff. But yeah, I want to hear all about what's going on with you, Clay. Exciting stuff, man. Exciting stuff.
Hey man, yeah, man.
Exciting and new.
But check it out. Before I
be happy, you're gonna be like,
yeah,
Negro finally. No, go ahead.
That's probably what I will say. But before I go, I want to throw this out there so that everybody will pop off on this one. Remember, I sent you and Ray this clip of Crawford, and he's talking up Jake Paul. So my scenario that I was telling you, Clay, is let's say Crawford loses by decision. Let's say it's controversial, kind of like Hagler. Let's say, right? He'll walk away from the fight. He'll do a whole speech. Everyone in America will fucking love him, dude. Everyone in the world will love that Crawford is this ambassador and well-spoken, good, humble man. And the whole beat, he's going to walk away from the fight. He's going to be gone for about 6 months, maybe less, but probably about 6 months. And then that guy's going to come back and go, well, nobody seems to be able to put away Jake Paul, so I'm going to do it. And then everybody's going to go, oh, biggest fight in Terrence Crawford versus Jake Paul.
And let me put it out there right now, because people are going to want to say, because I ain't going to lie to you, I would embrace that fight.
Yeah, me too.
I would embrace it, right?
I'm in for it. I'm in for it.
Back is going to be we didn't give Gervonta Tank Davis any grace in making the fight, right? That's what's going to be the pushback. And listen, if that's how you guys want to carry it, it's okay. But I think there's clearly, first of all, a weight difference. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Being where Terrence Crawford is. Number two, Terrence Crawford's already accomplished.
Yes. And he retired for real. This would be a retirement for real.
Life. Exactly. So it would be way more palatable, way more acceptable than what we're seeing happening right now. Or I don't even know what's happening right now, because according to what rumors are saying, that they're having an uphill battle right now trying to get this thing sanctioned,
put together, right?
They can't get nobody allowed to happen. And they should, because the work marriage is ridiculous, right?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
People are going to do that. They're going to say that we're championing this scenario and that we're haters because we didn't give Tank no grace when he made this fight. It is what it is. Right. And by the way,
hey, Clay, see what I mean? Shelton's already started. He's like, take the tinfoil. That's what I'm going to leave with that and let you guys roll with it. Ray, I want to get your thoughts on Crawford versus Jake Paul happening after Crawford retires. And shout out to you, well connected. And thanks, guys. Clay, we'll talk later. Ray, we'll talk later.
All right, man.
No doubt, man. Peace.
I don't think that's what's going to happen, though.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Y'all hold it down for 2 seconds. I'm gonna run up to the bathroom right quick.
I think that I don't think Terrence Crawford gonna fight him next. I think that regardless, I think if Terrence Crawford win, we get the rematch. I think if Terrence Crawford lose, we might get retirement.
I think it happens either way. You know why? I was talking to somebody about this. I think I said it on this channel. The reason why I think because Terrence Crawford's already doing documentaries and stuff based, you know what I mean, to put something together, like the whatever that Michael Jordan.
You don't think he got rematch clause in a contract?
I'm pretty sure, but he could just drop the belt and just retire. Why would he need to? You know what I mean? I mean, it'd be nice for him because the money would be there. I mean, that'd be the right thing that we would want, but it's not about us, right? It's about him riding off to the sunset, beating the best fighter that they said is the face of boxing. I mean, everything's an uphill battle. Was he gonna go in there and take that L after he just went 42-0? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I think. So I want you can do that though. If you sign a contract with a rematch clause, you can retire after you win.
You can retire. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Hold on. For example, did Gervonta say he wanted to retire? I mean, I know it was the rematch didn't equivalent because it was a draw, right? It was if he lost. But technically, a loss is like kissing your sister, so that's worse than a loss, they say, right? So, did he say he was thinking about retirement at the end of the year, regardless of what happened in that fight? I mean, I guess you can, right? I've seen Rich Sugar Ray retired after a loss.
No, not after a loss. No, I'm saying if
I'm sorry, after
yeah.
Oh, if he wins.
Yeah, if Bub wins.
Didn't Sugar Ray win the title as a super welterweight and retire before he fought Hagler? When he won the title?
Did they have a rematch clause though?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine he was a champ. They probably did, but he just retired.
But I'm saying, I don't know for sure. But listen, what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is, because you can have a rematch clause for the champion, but right. I'm saying that for the person, so if the person who has the rematch clause, right? Which say I'm the champion, I'm fighting you, right? I'm Canelo, you Bug. I got the rematch clause. That way, if I lose, we have to rematch. But if I win, we don't have to honor. You know what I'm saying? There's no rematch clause on your end, because you ain't undisputed. You don't have no belt. So now we fight and you win, right? You don't have to honor my rematch clause. I thought that's a loss, right? That's a contractual agreement.
I know, but why would I if I choose to retire? If I choose to hang it up, you can't force me to get back in that ring because it's a sign on the ink.
I know what I'm saying. That's
I mean, that would be cold. It's a cold move. It's like whack, but you don't have. Yeah, you don't have.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm right now. I'm gonna ask a professional who does contract and stuff. I'm gonna ask Lamont Roach Senior right now.
Okay. Shelton got an answer for you.
Yo, when you talk to him, you remind him. You gonna put him on the phone, or you just texting him?
I'm gonna call him here.
Good. I'm gonna remind him that he promised me an interview. He said it was all good, so I'm gonna remind him so that we can get that going.
Hold up, you hear this? What's up? Hey, Lamont. Hey, let me ask you something, right? So
let him know he live, though.
Say I'm a world champion, right? Okay, I'm Canelo. I'm Canelo.
Tell him he live though, so he know.
Yeah. So look, I'm on live with Claymore, right? I want to ask you a question though, right? You hear me? Yeah. Okay, all right. Cool. Say if I'm Canelo and you Bud, right? And I'm a world champ. I got all the belts. I'm undisputed, right? Now you beat. Is it our contract that I got a rematch clause, right? I got a rematch clause in our contract, but you beat me, right? Can you still retire? No, after I got the rematch clause in my contract.
Floyd did that. Floyd did that with De La Hoya.
Yeah, Floyd did that with De La Hoya.
So you could do that. That's not a lawsuit.
I mean, they could sue. It depends on how far you want to take it. If it's worth it or not. What's your opportunity next? I mean, they could say that once he unretired, he still owed that fight, but he probably fought before that years. It's just politics of boxing sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. But Floyd did do that.
And then didn't he come back like one day after the expiration, like 1 year?
But he probably had to pay him something.
If he next in line, he had that clause. I think it was somebody else that got out of it. In a way, with COVID, what that Taylor Farmer and JoJo Diaz or something like that.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
it wasn't a retirement, but you can retire when you want to. But when you come back, you still under them. You still under them contract terms. Just depending on the party what they want to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Senior, can you hear me, Senior?
And you hear what's the name on the phone, Clay?
Senior.
He said, you know, he said we supposed to do an interview, Senior. This interview.
Oh, let's say some of them in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, and tell him congratulations on his fighter, Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
man.
Ben Johnson.
Congratulations on Ben Johnson too.
That's beautiful. I ain't gonna say beautiful pause.
He said thank you. All right, I'm going to let you get your right side. You was laying down, Rob.
Okay.
All right.
No doubt. Yeah, no, but I was gonna say I didn't even think about that, but Floyd did that. Floyd did it in such a way, it was so slick. He retired. Then I think it was the day after the contract was up because he had to rematch him in a year. The day after the year mark, like it was like, let's say today is the mark for the year. Tomorrow morning, Floyd activated himself and put himself back into a fight, like legitimately. But for all argument's sake, legitimately.
Think about this.
But you think about it like this. You still gotta pay. He said you don't
have to pay unless they gave you money already. If they haven't given you money already, what do you have to pay back?
No, listen.
You have to pay none of that.
He said that you would still be under contract. You still be under contractual agreement if you tried to come back. You would still have to give him that rematch. He said, but you know, sometimes it be the politics. They be paying themselves out of it. He said they pay themselves out of it. That's the politics of boxing.
But think about this. Do fighters turn down fights all the time? Do fighters turn down fights all the time?
Yeah.
So if you can't make them fight, how you gonna stop them from retiring?
Because you can't. So if you're on a contractual agreement though, the contract might say that you gotta have to stimulate that in the contract that if you retire, you don't have to honor that rematch. But a contract is a contract.
Sue me.
If you take Academy of Finance and Business, they gonna tell you a contractual agreement is by law. You have to go on there unless it's stimulated in that contract that if I retire, then I got the option to retire and not honor that.
Only matters.
No, I think it's the other way around.
That only matters if money has been exchanged for that. If the money hasn't been exchanged yet, you can retire. As long as ain't no money been exchanged,
the money hasn't been exchanged.
They can't do nothing.
You can have medical reasons as to why.
That ain't true. Money don't got to be exchanged for you to honor a contract.
No, hold on a second, right? But I think it's the other way around. I think that you would have to stipulate in the contract that this is how we're going to handle retirement. If you haven't addressed retirement in the contract, then what's understood doesn't have to be said.
That's what I said, Clay.
If I decide to walk away from the fight, you asked out. Now, me as an actor,
that's what I said though, Clay. I said something that you said.
No, but I think you said the other way. You said that it would have to say. I mean, either way, right? But I think you were. The way I heard you say it sounded like you were saying that it would have to say that maybe you did say something. I don't know. I can't remember. I can rewind the video, but I can rewind it back. I
said it had to be in the contract. You got to have in the contract that, you know what I'm saying, break it down. Like if what I'm saying, retirement, due to retirement, I don't have to honor, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I was saying. I'm saying that what I'm saying is that unless it says in the contract that it addresses the retirement, he can retire and he won't be violating the contract. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It has to be in the contract. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it will have to be in the contract. But I said, of course, if it's not in the contract, then yeah, you probably gonna retire, but I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know. I ain't never seen one of the contract that has like clause, has the whisper clause in it, has a relax clause in it. I've seen a contract before. I've seen a contract on the phone before, but I've never seen one I never read it that had a rematch cost. So I don't know how they handle that.
Yo,
you know?
guys, we got 44 people in the building. Please remember to hit that like button if you haven't done it. Please go ahead and do that. I appreciate you and thank you in advance for doing that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe too, because I think sometimes some people be like subscribing and then it be unsubscribing them, and then later on they be subscribing back again. So just make sure you are subscribed. If you want to be subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed, and if you aren't yet, you know, et cetera, right? I'm about to cut this live though, because I gotta run. I ain't gonna lie, I got things I gotta do. I appreciate you guys. I did want to talk about the Deontay Wilder interview with Ariel Helwani. Deontay Wilder talking about 10 years. He plans on being back until 50. He says he's back and he wants to fight for the next 10 years. You know, Deontay, quick to shout out to Deontay Wilder, but you know, somebody's always messing up around him, right? Somebody's fault. The reason I did this is because my camp, to be the people closest to you, I had to do this, I had to do that. It was Mark Breland. Now I guess it's what's my guy's name from Philly? What's my guy's name who was training him before?
The dude that took a dive for him.
Yeah, Malik Scott. If it wasn't Malik Scott, it was his wife. If it ain't wife, it's his brother. If it ain't his brother, it's, you know what I mean? So he's basically saying he's recalibrated, he's revisited the whole thing, he's back better than ever, and he wants to fight Francis Ngannou next because
he's gonna get hurt.
Francis Ngannou. What do you think about that fight? And what do you think about him talking about being back the next 10 years?
He gonna be hurt.
Yeah, I think Francis is gonna clip him.
Yeah, I think the same thing. If he fight like he did Joey Jang, he gonna get clipped.
But you gotta also know that, you know, Deontay packs that power too, though.
Since
Don't
when?
get it twisted. Deontay, I mean, since when? The first 41 fights before Tyson Fury.
Okay, but I'm saying I know when he was. I'm saying as of recent, his last 5 fights.
They had no power against Joseph Parker.
Hellenius, man.
He had no problem with Zelle. He had no power. I mean, I guess you could say he had it with Herndon, but I don't even think he had no power there for real. But that's okay. You know what I mean? He knocked him out, so stop him.
Against, first off, like some of the fights, he wasn't even getting no clean shots though. Like how he used to time that punch. Like, so we can't say it's the power.
Would you
say it's the accuracy?
Do you think there's an argument to say that the lack of activity messed up his whole timing?
Yeah. So
that being said, has he been really active as far as you're concerned?
No, I think mentally, I think that Tyson Fury fight is
accuracy shit. So that accuracy shit is out the window, right? Like I'm just saying, at the end of the day,
I
think Francis Ngannou gonna clip him. Shout out to
I think we're saying Tyson Fury broke him though. I think Tyson Fury broke him mentally. Like I think
I think Francis is gonna clip him. I think Francis is gonna.
Hey, Clay Ray, before you go, do you guys remember a fighter named Greg Page?
No, I don't.
Greg Page, middleweight,
heavyweight,
no,
out of Louisville.
No.
Okay, well, Greg Page was a heavyweight out of Louisville in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh yeah, no, that's before.
He won a WBC heavyweight title at one time. He beat Pierre Kotzer. Took the title. But the point is,
I definitely seen some highlights of him.
Yeah, but the similarities between Greg Page and Wilder is this: boxing had to retire Greg Page, and if Wilder keep it up, boxing gonna retire his ass too.
Yeah, I think him talking about being for the next 10 years. I think one thing about Deontay Wilder that I've never really.
Yeah, but Greg Page for 75 fights too.
Yeah, but that's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that he was never going to retire. Like boxing had to retire him. Like he just would not. He would not go on his own accord and just be like, "I'm done." You know what I mean? Boxing had to do something grimy to him for him to walk away from the sport. But I think that the thing I don't like about Deontay, and I got respect for Deontay. Shout out to Angelo Reyes, who spoke on Deontay, is basically saying, "What did that man ever do so wrong but raise his daughter?" You know what I'm saying? Be American boxing when American boxing wasn't there. All those positive things that Deontay brought to space. But that's what I was about to say. He never does the accountability thing. It's always somebody in his team. It's always some outfit he had on. It's always some foreign object inside somebody's glove. It's always some nonsense that's always like, if these things weren't happening, he would be So I think that's gotten in the way of Deontay Wilder being a better fighter. I think his lack of accountability has stopped him from improving, from doing road work, from doing mid work, from allowing a coach to really lead him. It's always something else. And he fires Mark Greenland. Oh, he put something in my water, got rid of him. What that do was actually making a great boxer. Now I don't know. I don't know what the excuses are, but because of that, I think it stunted his growth in boxing. I think he became a one-trick pony because of that. And I think Francis Ngannou has a very good chance of clipping that dude.
You know what I think it is, Quavo, that we overlook? Man, Deontay Wilder, he lacks a lot of stuff. Like, he always lacked a lot of stuff. We just overlooked it because he
not
was
we.
knocking,
Yeah, not
he was
we.
knocking dudes
Not
out.
we.
Like,
Not
Deontay Wilder.
He was trash.
Deontay Wilder is the dude that your boxing coach tell you don't do nothing he just did in that fight. That's the dude he's that dude. Like, man, I told it's been times, man. Deontay Wilder feet get caught up, all types of stuff, footwork horrible, and he fought in the Olympics too.
Bro.
Ask yourself this question. Think about this.
He got
Think about this. Hold on. Think about this. Ask yourself this question. Besides King Kong Ortiz and Fury, who did this dude fight of note?
I'm telling you. I mean, you could bring up some honorable mentions, like what's my Mexican the Mexican guy's name? What's his name again?
Chris Arreola? Arreola was 37, 38 years old when he fought him.
I know, but I'm saying honorable mention just to say like that guy was like somewhat of a name around that time period. You can also say
Stavern, you got
Stavern, right?
Moran.
Man, that dude, look, let's just keep it clean, man. Let's keep it honest. That dude fought absolutely nobody.
No, listen.
Absolutely nobody.
Choir, bro. I've had this argument. I just had this argument
Literally.
And when they did put him in there with somebody that could fight
everybody,
they beat him up.
Trying to fight him.
No, you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, as far as actual fights, I'm not saying the reason behind the fights not being made.
We don't care about the reason. We care about what happened.
We're talking about him.
How can you can't make a person fight? That's like that's one thing.
Wait. You just told me you can stop a person from return. So which one is it? You just told me that 5 minutes ago.
No,
you just told me you can make a person fight.
That don't even make sense. We talking about two active fighters. We talking about two active fighters that's both competing in the same division. You can't make that person fight you. Like if a dude don't want to fight you, he can move to another division. He can. That's totally different from what we talking about with retirement. You just trying to be a smart ass. That one had nothing to do with two. But
no, but look, Dub. This is what I want to say.
But let me say this. I want to say this though before, because he cut me off. I was saying this. I was around a fighter, right? That we can say who it was. Gary, right? I watched Gary's career, right? Gary Russell Jr. And Gary tried to fight. He tried to fight all them fighters that was top fighters in 126 at that time. He tried to fight them dudes. None of them dudes would give him a shot. From the Leo Santa Cruz, I watched this with my own eyes around this. Even the PBC was trying to get him certain fights or whatever, to the point that a lot of people fell out behind that because he felt like they wasn't 100% behind him like they should have been, because he was trying to fight these dudes. And these dudes was not trying to entertain him at that time. He had a belt, and he was guaranteeing when the paydays that he was seeing, some dudes wasn't even seeing that yet. And they was champions. And they still wouldn't fight him.
But we know why they wouldn't fight Gary, because Gary was good. They didn't want to get their ass beat.
I'm saying Wilder was one of the strict. Come on now, we can't take it away from people were scared of Wilder.
I'm not taking away the fact that a man got in the ring and knocked them dudes out. He did that. You can't take that away. But them dudes wasn't that good.
Anthony Joshua.
You can't make them do something that they wasn't. Them dudes was not that good.
Ray, Anthony Joshua didn't duck that man.
I knew he didn't
I
duck
think
him.
that will always be an argument.
He talk about this all the time.
I've heard so many different arguments from either side of that. Just being from the outside looking in, I think it's safe to say there was a lot of politics outside of those two fighters that were involved in them not fighting each other. I don't think
I'll say that
on either one of those fighters. I think between Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, between that whole entire dynamic, I think it goes a lot deeper than Anthony Joshua going, I don't want to fight him, I'm scared, or Deontay going, man, I don't want no problem. I mean, like, I think that's one easy way to call it. But if we're gonna be honest, that was that across the street politics. That was they wanted Deontay Wilder to be undefeated as well. Eddie Hearn was probably protecting Anthony Joshua's best interest as far as money's concerned. So many different moving parts as to why that fight didn't happen. But I'll say this. I want to say this real quick before we leave out of here. I want to say that Deontay Wilder having a reason at not fighting those guys doesn't take away the fact that we don't know what we don't know because he didn't fight those guys. And the reality is, me as a boxing fan, watching Deontay Wilder fight, I saw so many holes in that man's game. I'm gonna be real with you. The night he beat Luis Ortiz, I was like, damn, maybe I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, man, that was the best I've ever seen. Look, I was because going into that fight, I thought he was gonna get stopped by Luis Ortiz. I knew he was gonna lose against Tyson Fury. When Tyson Fury got knocked out in the last round, knocked down in that last round, I was like, damn, bro.
He did it.
The reason I was upset was because I'm like, now all that bullshit he was doing for those 10, 11 rounds is going to look like it don't matter because he knocked this dude out. So when Tyson Fury woke up from the dead and got back on the whooping his ass for the rest of that round, I was like, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's over. It's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. He ain't no good.
And shout out because I don't want to throw, it sounds bad because I don't want to make this look like I have so much respect for Deontay Wilder and what he was able to accomplish. I acknowledge the fact that he started boxing late. I acknowledge the fact of why he started boxing to take care of his daughter. I acknowledge the fact that during a time period where American heavyweight boxing was non-existent, he made it relevant. He was our champion. He defeated his belt. He defeated his title so many times. I have to I respect him on so many levels, but I gotta keep it 100. The man's game was flawed, to say the least. And when it was actually tested with real fighters, Dele Zhang, Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury, he got exposed to be a fighter who was lacking, a fighter who wasn't getting better, just came with that one trick, with that straight right hand. He lost the jab. At least he used to have a decent little jab that would set up the right hand. That went away. And I'll never forget the day Deontay Wilder said, everybody can be nicer to me in boxing. They got to be good for 12 rounds. I only got to be good for one. And I knew that man was never going to become a complete fighter when he did that.
Yep. And that's great that you said.
And he never, once his athleticism was gone, he couldn't get to you quick. It was over.
Well, I told me and my brother had this argument about him and AJ, and I told him, I said, the problem is AJ's a boxer, and I told him that I think he's one-dimensional, and I said I don't think he beats AJ, right? And that's back then when they were both supposed to fight, or prior to them both being supposed to fight. And he used to always tell me how Wilder was this guy and Wilder was this, and I'm like, look, you're only looking at it because you're backing him because he's an American. I'm telling you, this guy has a lack of skills in boxing, and
he's not getting, and he has no interest in getting better. Right. I think that's the frustrating part about it. The fact that he wasn't going to get better. Shout out to Mazuma TV, my brother, man. Salute, family. Good to see you in the building, guys. It's about that time for me. Wife walked in the door. We got things to speak on. Look out for a phone call.
Handle your business, Clay. Thanks for having us on, man. College football is on, so handle your business, dog.
No doubt. Hey,
Bray, you got to send me a number too, right? I got a new phone.
You got my number. I thought. Are you?
Man, they stole my phone out Vegas.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you again.
All right, guys.
Salute. Easy, bro.
Peace to everybody,
right,
man.
Peace out.
Subscribe, hit the like button. Until the next one, we out.
Who knew I I would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.